Could you look away?
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
So there is a YouTuber named
United States,
and he makes funny,
Good morning,
political compass videos and political satire stuff. I haven't seen a ton of it, but I saw this video,
the political meta.
which I wanted to, it made me laugh. I thought it was really funny and insightful and covered parts of the internet that I didn't really understand or know about. And he also noted anti-clanker. That's the only context you need going in. I don't have anything more. I'm gonna ask more, I'm gonna learn more, and we'll see.
Hello.
Hello. Like I said, I just saw that video of yours. I've seen another one now that I also really liked, but I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was really funny, and I didn't know, or maybe I did in a like a base of my brain kind of way, but about these new internet spheres that are popping up, and it seems like you are super in tune. And I thought it was hilarious, and I wanted to talk to you more about them. So yeah, I brought a little. I made a little thing, a PowerPoint, and I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay.
And you'll be able to see it.
I'm a big PowerPoint fan, so I'm excited to see this.
I gotta ask.
Yes.
My first assumption is you've done this for a few years now, and with political stuff, I assume your opinions, or I mean, maybe you don't give your public opinions, but it's constantly changing. Do you look back on old things and cringe at all?
No, and you know, to be truthful with you, I guess my first era was an anti-centrist era.
Okay.
And so the idea was there's these four political extremes. We got a communist, an anarchist, a capitalist, and a fourth guy. And you know, I would say, hey, you know what you guys all have in common? We all don't like the status quo. We don't like the way that things are right now. And it was sort of you know, an effort to push people of different political tribes to find commonalities in a way that's not in a middle ground sort of way, but in a way that's more radical. I don't focus on that quite as much anymore because my interests have sort of, you know, gone to other places.
I mean, it sounds like your interest lately is hating robots.
I'm guessing that other corner is
that's
corporatist,
kind of my,
more or
that's
less.
my current fixation, yeah. Hating robots. Yeah, clankers, tin skins.
Yeah, I was just
yeah.
Yo.
Such things,
I don't
yeah.
want to
Can't
say
say that
but
anymore.
it sounds-
Well, actually, you know, I heard you talk about that.
Discrimination.
I don't think you should feel bad about using slurs against robots. They can't feel. If they can feel, then they should feel bad. Because that's what I do with my sentience. I suffer, so you know, I don't see why they should be any different. Part of the reason it's actually quite, you know, it's sort of reclaiming these slurs, and it's taking us back to a time.
You know what? Actually, well, let's talk about the anti-robot stuff at the end because I have more I want to say. But I want to talk about this video because I think to me, all of these groups like made certain people in my life, maybe even including myself, make more sense in a way the world is changing. And I want to go through this. So the first one you had, and again, I think the topic of the video was called Political Meta Update, and it was like kind of a semi-satirical gaming lingo take on new groups that are emerging in the really online political space. And this is the sentence that stuck out to me. So the first one you had, the first new political meta that's popping up, was what you called post-racial fascism.
Yes.
I wonder if you could give like a quick overview here for people who haven't seen your video of like how you see this.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think, like, probably a really good way to explain it is just with internet characters, like, as examples.
Sure.
So, in that little image I made, we have, like, five characters. And they're all, I mean, culturally, I would call all these people very far-right, sort of reactionary figures, to the right of, for sure, mainstream conservatives, right?
Okay.
I think you'd agree.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, so we got Candace Owens, Nico, Nick, Andrew Tate, and Kanye West.
A really
So
great
those are the
blunt
five I
rotation.
picked.
Like a really good time.
Great, excellent blunt rotation, exactly. And you might notice something about. Do you actually hold on? Maybe the chat can help me out here. Can you notice anything about these five reactionary far-right figures?
Yeah, but when the chat said I would call them woke. That's what they said. They said I would. To me, they're left. To me, they're too far left. But I see what you're saying. Right. Yeah.
It's kind of funny you say that because there's a lot of, you know, I'm very familiar with the extremist spaces online, and there's purity spiraling. You know, you associate this sometimes with like being a leftist thing, but there's purity spiraling on the right. It's just more of like, are you racist enough?
No, that's what was funny. So I'm not super familiar with these online. Like, I'm not on 4chan or what. I don't know this. And so this first part already hooked me in because it was funny hearing about the infighting that's happening among these. Like, I don't, you know, I think you said it, that I think the standard maybe detached look is like they are more likely to be united or fall in line. Or, you know, I've seen the big split between Elon Musk and Trump, the tech right and like the MAGA right.
Yeah, I think there's like a bit of a blind spot when it comes to infighting. So if you're like on the left, you might think that the right is like a really homogenous group that like sticks together and they only want to, you know, hate communists or whatever. And if you're on the right, this was kind of interesting because I think Fuentes had a talk with Andrew Tate that I overheard, and they were talking about
That
you know the
overheard?
I was in
You
the
were
room.
in the
I was
area?
actually listening in, yeah.
Okay.
And they were talking about, you know, the left is so united. And meanwhile, here we are bickering about who's in the CIA. I mean, the current drama on the very far right is, are you a CIA agent?
So I hadn't even heard that. What does that come from? What is they're
That drama's so
bickering over who's
fascinating.
secretly a CIA agent? Is that?
Okay,
Tucker
so,
Carlson
have you
and
ever seen
Nick
people post
Fuentes
other
both
feds
accusing
online,
each
like
other.
Fed,
Yeah, sure,
or
yeah.
you're Glowy?
I've never heard Glowy.
So,
I don't know Glowy.
okay, yeah, Glowy is a term that comes from the schizophrenic guy who thought that all like federal agents glowed in the dark, and it emerged on 4chan. Yeah. Yeah, his name was Terry Davis,
Okay.
and he built an operating system from scratch, which you might find interesting.
Well, that's cool,
But
I
yeah,
guess.
it was he was very schizo. Anyway, so there's a paranoia on the right that there's like a deep state that's
They've been
working against
infiltrated.
you. They've been infiltrated, and so
Is this
currently,
QAnon
like,
type stuff? Is this very into that?
It's absolutely kind of adjacent to QAnon, but I think a lot of these people would look at QAnon and be like, that's like boomers, like boomers believe in QAnon, and
QAnon's so
we believe in
old-fashioned now.
glowies and feds. Yeah, right.
All right.
Yeah, so the current drama is like Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes. I don't know what you like. Tucker Carlson, I think it's fair to say he's pretty far right. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's tough to say because he's so mainstream. You know, maybe
He is
the
mainstream,
window has
but
changed, right? But he
Yeah, the Overton window has certainly shifted. Like Donald Trump is, is the president, and so the Overton window is shifted.
And don't
right.
forget it, by the way. He's my president.
Don't
and
forget
don't
it.
forget
He's
it.
your president. He's
our
my
president, okay?
He's our president. Just kidding. I'm Canadian. I heard the Canada slander. Yeah.
Oh
so,
no! Why is everyone Canadian?
You know, leftist infighting is like, did you read enough Marx? Do you have the right opinions on Israel-Palestine? Right-wing infighting is like, you're a Jew, you're a Fed. That's basically it. I mean, you know,
They keep it
there's
simple.
probably-
You got to respect the simplicity.
It's simpler. Leftist infighting is like wall of text, right?
Too much text.
You are Jewish. So that's basically what's going on. That's just sort of a broad overview of what's going on. But I mean, I can take this back to the sort of observation that I'm making here.
Yeah.
Which is everyone here, even though they're very far right culturally. I mean, basically everyone here doesn't like Jews.
Sure.
Which is sort of the hard line for separating yourself from. Am I hard right
Well,
or
would
am
you put like
far
Aiden
right?
Ross in this?
That's a good question. So I'm not super familiar with the streaming world, to be honest. Maybe you would be better at telling me this. So like, Aiden Ross is Jewish, but he is like sympathetic to someone like Fuentes.
Yeah, I want to bring up two clips here that I wanted to just show to you and see if they poke a hole. So how could this guy be any form of fascist? And I want you to watch this clip.
What does a fascist mean?
A fascist.
It means you are a far right authorization. Ultranationalist.
Jesus.
Political ideology movement characterized by dictator leadership, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition. So I don't know what that means, bro. I swear to God. I don't know what the fuck a fascism is. I don't know what the fuck that is. Benito Mussolini and Giviante Genitale.
That's awesome.
And Jason Stanley. Like, who the fuck are these people?
Jason Stain.
Never heard of my fucking
I don't know
life.
who that is. Just a
What is an
funny
example of a
fucking
fascist?
random one in there.
That's awesome.
So,
That's awesome. Okay.
Is
yeah,
does that just blow
brings
a
lot
hole
of
in your
thought to
theory?
mind.
You know what I'm saying? Is that
Okay, wait, hold on,
Okay.
relax. First
Okay.
of all,
I don't know, I'm just
you'll
wondering.
notice Aiden Ross is not on that thumbnail.
Okay,
I
all
also
right.
didn't mention Aiden Ross in that YouTube video. I
Okay.
don't know Aiden Ross well enough to make any sorts of judgments about Aiden Ross, and I am also very careful about using the F word, so to speak, because I'm not the kind of person that's going to call like a moderate conservative a fascist. I'm not going to call a libertarian a fascist. Unless you are a fascist, I'm not going to call you a fascist. I don't know enough about Aiden Ross to call him a fascist. I also don't think, though, and this is kind of an important point, you need to know what fascism is in order to be an appropriate target to call a fascist. It's just it's a really loaded term that
Yeah, of
polarizes
course.
people, and so I use it very carefully. And I am a political scientist of a sort, and I think like the words do have meaning, and it's very important to use the right words.
I agree. I thought that's why. Oh, again, one of the reasons I like this video is I thought you made that caveat, which is that you don't throw it around all the time, and that it is kind of earned in this case, but it has this weird quirk that it's somewhat post-racial. One more clip. you disavowed Aiden Ross, so my clips are now no longer hitting. I thought he was part of this for some reason, but I had one more clip.
I didn't disavow Aiden Ross. I literally
No, I mean, you disavowed him from this.
I'm not even gonna say he's not a fascist. I'm just saying I don't know. I mean, do you think he's a fascist, or do you think he's like adjacent to fascist?
Oh no, I don't know Aiden Ross either.
Okay.
I have two clips here. What I think is how this connected with my understanding of the world is that there is a group of like very online streaming content, YouTube related people who would all call themselves vehemently anti-racist. They would say they're not, racism is not a part of their philosophy in any way, but are deeply right-wing.
Right.
And I could see that bubbling up.
Right.
And I would assume that Andrew Tate is, sorry, not Andrew Tate, Aiden Ross is part of that. That would be my guess. And he's just the biggest. I think of him because I am less in the weeds. Like, I've never seen any content from Nick Fuentes. I've never heard him speak. I don't know what he talks like, but I have seen when he's president. He's breached containment. In the next like 6 months, you'll be hearing a lot about him. But I just, the idea that this is truly post-racial in any way, I wanted to put one more clip up to get your thoughts on. And we'll go through all four of your things all different ones. So here's the next clip.
Yeah.
In real life, I got you, bro. But when it comes to this content shit, I'm not in the mental state to be in front of your niggas. As soon as a nigga of color hop onto the stream, it's straight watermelon and gorillas, nigga. I'll watch it.
I just wish he didn't say that though. I really wish he didn't say that as soon as there's somebody with color on your stream. We don't have to make this about race at all. We don't have to make this about race at all. Like, there's no reason to do that at all. I get what he's saying, like when there's somebody with color on their stream, they spam monkey and watermelons and stuff. When there's a Jew on stream, they'll spam the craziest shit in my chat. When there's a Mexican on stream, they'll spam shit on my chat. When there's a Chinese person on stream, they'll spam my shit on my chat. It's not just one specific race, guys. It's every fucking race. Kick is like the fucking Adult Swim.
I mean, I think that's a very good clip to share.
You're busy, you have responsibilities, and you also have dreams. Whether you're looking to advance your career or launch a new one, DeVry can help you build a brighter future. DeVry works for you.
Dutch Boy Professional Series works hard for you, in-store and on the job site, with top-quality durable paints, knowledgeable field reps, and exclusive professional contractor benefits. Dutch Boy Professional Series paints, available at Menards.
Yeah, right? I think it sort of embodies what you're saying, but I think it also kind of undercuts the reality of it.
Right, okay, so let me be really clear.
Yeah.
So we talked about the Overton window shifting, right? When we're talking about post-racial fascism, we're sort of talking about a middle ground between, say, where Trump is, and then where, like, a racial fascism is. And you can imagine Trump sort of pulled the Overton window into the right. Straight up white nationalism and white supremacy is still outside of the Overton window. Like, racial fascism, if anyone is trying to make that point, no one's going to take that seriously. That's beyond the pale. But the sorts of points that these characters are making, it's like not quite that extreme. And it's partially not quite that extreme because of material circumstances in the West. Yeah, post-racial fascism is sort of just an observation of like where things are right now. And I'm not suggesting it's a tenable coalition.
Sure.
So that's kind of a really important point. The question that we're going to see over the next decade is how tenable is a post-racial fascist coalition? So Benito Mussolini was the founder of fascism, and he wrote on fascism and what he thought about fascism. And his idea was race is 95% a delusion. And so this is the guy that invented fascism.
He was the Aiden Ross of his day, right? He was like...
Now, in these circles, like a Bannon type, who often speaks to how an American hyper-nationalism will be good for all the races, Mexicans, blacks, whites. That sort of rhetoric is super post-racial. It's like, we're not going to try to make this just work for white people. We're going to make this work for everybody in the nation. And you can still do fascism like that. It's never been done on a really big scale before like that, so it's just very interesting to like kind of watch it.
Okay.
But you look at someone like Bannon, and you look in those circles, because that is even further to the right, like that's on the right side of the Overton window right now. You see peaks of actual like straight up white nationalist, or even like other kinds of nationalists, like racism basically. And you know, also in these circles, they're also very comfortable with racism. All these people are racist against Jews. I should just point that out. So post-racial fascism, it's kind of like, it's by nature very tenuous. I could see it working. I could see it being like a solid coalition. And I almost think like the reason is just because the West is so mixed. Like America is mixed. It's not like Europe. It's not like Europe 100 years ago where you had a huge swath of the same ethnic group.
Yeah.
And you could just, you know, get rid of 2% of the population. It's everyone.
It's deeply mixed.
Completely untenable.
Yeah.
It's completely untenable to actually do white nationalism. In Nick Fuentes' heart of hearts, does he want to make a white ethno state? Like, I don't know. Probably. Like, he probably would. There's a lot you could say about this. You could say like a product of liberalism is sort of looking past the individuality of race, and so that's maybe bleeding in a little bit here because it's been the dominant world order for so long. There's a lot of ways you could slice this bologna, and ultimately, you know, all I'm really trying to do is just make the observation here and
that it's appearing. Yeah, I think. Okay, so the line I wanted to say before I got caught with tech issues is that what stood out to me about this video and made me question my own thoughts of the past is that you mentioned have coalesced into real power now, but it's good looking at them because this is what's probably going to be more important in 5 to 10 years. Like, these are the seeds of things that will grow. Some of them will die, some of them will grow into coalitions in 5, 10 years. And I think about that because
these are emerging trends.
Emerging trends, yeah.
The only last thing I'd say about is there's this idea called castizo-futurism, which I think was like a South American kind of ideology. It's about sort of like accepting a very mixed society, but like doing your best to work within that society in a fascist
Can't believe
way,
that boxed in a
and sort
frog.
of, you know, over time lighten the skin tone of various people. I know, yeah. I mean, like, South America is a kind of a crazy place sometimes.
So the next group that you noticed rising was, I forget what the E stands for, but accelerationists, tech accelerationists. What's the?
Yes. Okay. So so the E stands for
Fucking
effective
weirdo
acceleration.
Peter Thiel,
Effective
Elon
acceleration.
Musk.
Yep.
Sorry. I don't want to mess this up. Okay. Yeah. Effective accelerationism. I keep confusing if it's efficient or effective acceleration. It doesn't really matter.
Okay. I think, you know, the broad strokes of what makes this different, or what you would know, what are the key traits of this group that are rising up?
I put this in the libertarian, sort of like a new emerging tribe on the libertarian sphere.
It's like a Peter Thiel kind of thing. Is this like a?
Yeah.
Okay.
So libertarians are really pro-tech right now, and this is like you can think of it as like libertarianism plus modern advancements in technology with the AI stuff that's been going on recently. When you look at AI and the people who are typically most pro AI, and I don't want to alienate any libertarian anti-clankers who are part of my movement because I'm trying to get everyone from every political ideology on my side. But yeah, in general, as a stereotype, libertarians are the most pro AI. You know, you could view a character like Elon Musk on like the border of the post-racial fascism, EAC sort of thing. He'll do a little bit of both.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I want to let you see it. So this stood out to me as, I wouldn't say he's in this, but like some of the things you talked about. You said like these people are probably, of all the groups, the most optimistic. They think this will be a good thing. We're headed in the right direction. The tech is going to save us. This reminded me of my friend Doug. I'll just say, my friend Doug.
Okay.
He's not. I wouldn't say not in a bad way in any way, but like this is where he's on the border of, which is that he is more optimistic. He believes tech will be a solution. He thinks that's the right direction. And so yeah, I wanted to, you know, that stood out to me. Is that like maybe the early inklings or something like this, or in his brain. And I wanted to get your thoughts on the more extreme version of it, and also where it's headed. Like, is this the one you're the most disagreeable with? Because you seem very anti. Like what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you got me.
Okay.
I can only pretend to be
No,
impartial for
that's
so
fine.
long.
Yeah, I don't mind. I want to hear it. So tell me more about it.
Yeah,
just what were your thoughts?
A lot of autistic tech bros. It's a lot.
Those who answer the call of the vagabond know that the best stories aren't about where you went. They're about how you got there. Because they know the real destination is the adventure itself.
A lot of, so accelerationism, it's a way of looking at things that asks the question, what are we making? What are we headed towards? And the reason that the flag there is like it's an exponential curve going upwards.
Yeah.
It's a cybernetic theory. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's basically like it's systems theory. A lot of complicated, interwoven points making positive feedback loops. And the idea is tech is one of these positive feedback loops, and it's going to go faster and faster and faster and faster. And then you have a lot of variants of accelerationism that kind of speculate as to what that's going to look like. So you've got a left-wing accelerationist might think the tech is going to solve all of our problems and sort of create, like, maybe give us all UBI, and we kind of sort of live in like a paradise, and the robots take care of everything we don't want to do. And it sounds good, yeah. And like, you know, I would just, you know, you'd spend your time, maybe you'd spend your money on just human connections and like doing stuff that like benefits you, and we would all, like, no one would really have to work anymore, and it all sounds good. It's also seen as the most, by accelerationists, kind of the most ridiculous, unlikely, insane possible way of looking at things. In the tech world, a much more popular ideology is what you call right accelerationism, and that is, these ideologies were created like about 20 years ago, and they sort of developed over this amount of time. But right accelerationism is, we are building a higher form of intelligence that will one day replace us, and the flesh is weak, so we as a species are basically just the bootloaders for a higher force that is emerging. Yeah, and so this is something that I studied, and it sort of informs my anti-clanker ideology a little bit. But yeah, so those are sort of the two main groups. And then recently, last 4 years or so, out of the like this forum called like Less Wrong, which is like this very like autistic techie community where effective altruism comes from. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
Sam Bankman.
Yeah, I know SBF. He's my goat.
Okay, cool. So, you know, before, I guess after the Sam Bankman-Fried thing, everyone was like, damn, I do not like these effective
Yeah, he really hurt the brand.
And so this kind of emerged a little bit after that. I don't know if there was a huge connection, but it was created by this guy, Beth Bezos. I don't know if he actually created it. There was like a couple of people. Apparently one of them was watching my videos while they were creating it, and they
so
were,
you're at fault
like,
for the thing you hate the most.
I might be responsible a little bit. They were talking about the interplay of like autism and schizophrenia, and how it has to be a meta-ironic ideology. So it basically needs to like, you need to, it's like serious, but it's also a little comedic. And they were trying to like, basically they use this term hyperstition, which is a phrase in accelerationist circles, where if everyone believes something enough, if everyone believes we're gonna create this technology that's going to take us to the next level, then it'll happen. And so, you know, my problem with this ideology, and you know why I'm against it, it's basically just right accelerationism, and this is like an older ideology, but it's like an outgrowth of right accelerationism. If you ask an effective accelerationist what the humans are going to look like in this future that they're imagining, they don't have a good answer, and because they don't have a good answer, you sort of have to assume what they're talking about isn't a human. It's going to be really, really good for a lot of robots. It's going to be really, really good for maybe your intelligence uploaded onto a computer.
Okay.
And that's the extreme variant, and I think on a more moderate variant, like maybe what Doug believes, it's just kind of like, you know, if he falls into this camp, I would probably give him the benefit of the doubt and say he thinks it's going to solve a lot of problems, reverse climate change.
That's what he thinks.
Live longer. I guess this is sort of like a leftist critique probably, but like, I guess the critique is, without the fundamental systems that technology exists in being changed at all, there's no reason to assume that technology is going to be good for us. You could make some sort of market, sort of trickle down argument about like things, you know, like the technology gets invented and then everyone becomes immortal. That remains to be seen, and you know, to be honest, that's kind of just a matter of personal
sure, I think he's you know, I don't want to speak for him. And in fact, I probably shouldn't even have included him. I don't want it to be, especially if this is a more negative thing. I just wanted to, I think what he would say is less so much about the future you're talking about, which seems really far away, which is like this transhumanist upload yourself to the cloud, and more of like the interim decades, I think, where you can create so many things at such a lower marginal cost that we could all have a lot more. Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't think that's a horrible take. I actually don't think that's like an insane thing to believe. I think there's a good case to be made that if you look at how we have pretty state-of-the-art tech right now, and it's affordable to most people. You could certainly make a case, and there's a lot of really exciting stuff happening with AI and, you know, medical science and learning things about the world.
We're not going to figure it out. What I think was interesting about it, because you know, here's one thing that possibly you believe, but I certainly believe, and I want to get your gut check on it, is I'm starting to feel how you sort yourself into any one of these groups we're going to talk about, or any of the other myriad groups, is really vibes-based. It's very vibes-based, and it's very based on other people in it, and how you know, it's like based on what kind of group you see yourself in, and I think there's a lot of you know, less people weighing the different merits of these different philosophies and more. And so I think the word that you used about this one was that it was optimistic. And I feel like people are being funneled, certain people are being funneled into this thing because it's one of the few that is still remaining optimistic, even if it's.
I think, yeah, that's a really, really good point, actually. A lot of politics is vibes, and you're looking around the political spectrum and you're like, damn, one side is saying the West has fallen, the other side is saying capitalism is destroying the planet. There's only one group here, really, that's like, things are awesome. We're going to Mars, we're gonna colonize the stars, we're going to live forever, we're gonna have perfect lives. In terms of branding, they have the best branding. And that's why I am sort of bullish in this taking off even more, and that's why this is also an emerging political tribe.
Okay,
it's
cool.
Be better and better, just like the rest of them.
Okay, so here's one that I wanted to bring up: reactionary centrism. Okay, and I might fall into this. We'll see. All right, well, you can help define it for me, but this might be me, or at least I could.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I could see it when you were talking about it, or at least I'm an early stage of it. So I don't even know this guy in the middle, by the way. Actually, I don't know. Is this Ben Shapiro?
No. Okay, so. Okay. In the middle is my mentor, JJ McCullough. Left, it's Hawes, Infrared Hawes. He is a kind of a Nazbol streamer. He's like a right-wing communist. It's kind of hard to explain. He's like...
Okay, I don't... Okay.
Imagine a communist that says a lot of slurs, okay? And then Fuentes, and then that's Fuentes on the right, who, you know...
Okay, that's Nick Fuentes, okay. Well, he does like Ben Shapiro.
Remember this conversation in 6 months and be like, oh yeah, that guy.
Okay, so my understanding, as you described this, was a group that feels, you know, the Overton window is being pulled so far in both directions. Everyone gets more radicalized that this group is like desperately trying to hold on, pulling it back, like just...
Yeah, perfect analogy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, you know, I mentioned earlier, Trump pulled the Overton window to the right. There's more than one Overton window. We're actually living in, like, societies where the worlds that we live in are rapidly...
Can you explain the Overton window for people? People were asking in chat, and I just realized we didn't define it.
The Overton window is basically the middle. If you imagine like a political compass, it's in the middle of the political compass. If you imagine like the range of things that are acceptable to talk about. 20 years ago, I just told you there's a communist that says slurs. Both being a communist and saying slurs was outside of the Overton window 20 years ago. Okay, that wasn't happening. I wouldn't be on a talk show talking about an Nazbol.
Yeah. Someone said, like, I don't know how to draw it, but like it's like this window of things you're allowed to say if this is like left to right, and like maybe this right here would be maybe gay marriage for a while, and then the line moved over here and you could say it, or you know, something like that. It's like, yeah, if it's not in the window, it's considered like out in poor taste to even bring it up or talk about it.
Right.
But you know, it feels to me as part of this reactionary centrism, there is no Overton window. The internet has kind of blown the whole idea of an Overton window out. You can say whatever you want and you'll find an audience. Like the idea that there's like a publicly acceptable list of things you can say doesn't even matter anymore. In fact, saying things in the middle is almost boring because you don't get an audience. There's no audience for that.
Correct. The incentive structure of the internet and just the way that the internet works, where ideas go from brain to brain very quickly, no friction, that is a great place for extremism. And that's why I talked about extremism on my channel as an internet person, as someone who is like, you know, spends a lot of time on the internet, and someone who at the time believed the internet would play a big role in shaping how these ideologies emerged. And, you know, the stuff I was talking about 6 years ago is basically happening currently.
Sure.
So yeah, I agree with your analysis there. I think that's true. And to go to your point of like the Overton window expanding, I don't know if like literally everything, just because you can say something doesn't necessarily mean people are going to take it seriously. I think the Overton window is sort of a signal of, will I take this seriously? Is this being represented in any way in politics, in like
the halls
actual
of
politics?
power?
Yeah, in the halls of power. Like,
okay.
You can say anything and it'll get an audience, but I wouldn't, like, there's an ideology called ephilism, right? It's like it's like very extreme antinatalism, and it's like, not only should no one have kids, but I'm going to actively end life. It's a terrorism ideology, basically. There are no ephilists in government. There are no people who are whispering in Donald Trump's ear saying everyone needs to die. The voluntary human extinction movement is not a real thing. So that's something I would say is outside the Overton window. Even with all these things taken into account of like, though I would say the way I sort of describe it is the Overton window is split in two and is shifting to the left and right simultaneously. And what used to be in the middle, where you, Atrioc, might find yourself, is now outside of the Overton window.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Again, I'm throwing all my friends under the bus, but I wanted to pull an example of someone I really think hit your points. This is my friend
Hey, Doc, if you had to choose, would you give yourself a root canal or run payroll?
Oh, run payroll.
Huh?
Paying my team with gusto takes just a few clicks. They automatically file my taxes for me, too.
Can I run payroll too? Choose payroll without the pain. That's working with gusto.
Nathan stands. Okay, this is Stans. You can see him here.
Yes.
And it's funny, I was in a car ride with him the other day, and he was we were just talking about life in the world. And he said, I'm not kidding, maybe 3 or 4 exact phrases that you use to describe this group in your. And I think the one that stood out to me most is like, you wanted to get back to a world where the average person didn't have to care. And I think that was an exact phrase you used. Like they were both fighting for the right, the center left, the center right are both fighting for the right of the average person to no longer have to care about. Yeah, I don't know that I would fall that specific spot, but the idea that everything is getting more radicalized, I do think is just true. And it's something that I personally find a hard time fitting myself into. However, what I would take, you know, you mentioned these as like growing groups, but I sort of feel like this group is getting crushed. This group is,
okay,
like, okay.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair. You know, it's called political meta update. So I would say this is an update to liberalism. This is an update to centrism. Are you familiar with Destiny? Do you know that guy?
Yeah, I know of him.
Yeah, so he's a streamer. He'll say stuff like, you know, he will fight Hassan with equal intensity as he will fight someone like Donald Trump. Because the way he sees it, there's like a far left and there's a far right, and they both hate liberal democracy. 10, 15 years ago, if there was a fascist or a communist saying, I'm gonna overthrow the government, the liberals wouldn't even talk to those people. Like, it's not important. It's not like that poses any real threat. No one believes that. It's outside the Overton window. Now, because the Overton window has sort of drifted to the left and the right, they have to engage with this, and they have to be like, oh shit, there's a lot of like threats to liberalism right now. We're surrounded by enemies on the left and the right. We have no choice but to sort of react to the extremism that we're seeing in order to create a world where we can kind of go back to normal or whatever. And so it's a lot more conscious. Like before, you'd be like, "Shut up, that's just the way things are." Now you have to justify why why things are the way they are. And actually, I would probably argue that that is a good thing. Like we shouldn't just take for granted
it doesn't seem bad.
All the ways. Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't take for granted that all the ways that we've been doing things before are the ways that we should still be doing things. We can't just like wave our hands away and be like, no, there's actually no problems right now. Because there's all kinds of problems.
Oh, and they're getting worse. I agree, yeah.
They're getting worse, and the left and the right are both pointing to very real problems that people are having. And so I think this has been a good development for liberals and centrists. I think that like having to explain why the way things are the way they are, like I think a lot of the reason extremism thrives is because no one explained to them why we do things, and so it just seems like this completely like insane, like what are
arbitrary.
we doing? Like this guy, yeah, it feels very arbitrary. Yeah, and you know, I think that this is a good development in my opinion, because even if liberal centrism survives the next 15 years, even if we are still, a mostly middle-class, consumer-based society, I think that because there's these threats to liberalism, almost like a virus or something, it's gonna have to fight it off, and it's like the liberalism of 15 years from now is gonna have to be different because something has to change. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a big extreme uprising where a bunch of people die, but it might be like, hey, I don't know, like we do a UBI, we do land value tax. There's lots of like radical centrist ideas that might have to emerge.
Yeah,
we make taxes easier, like.
Yeah, okay, then I am in this group. Like, pretty much exactly. Yeah, that's how I see it. So, but I just think maybe it's a little hopeful. Maybe I'm being the doomer here, but I find that to be, I think when trend lines start moving in a direction, it's hard to stop it without a bigger event. So, hey, we'll see. But I think that's a fair point, and I think the way you pointed this out was this one made me laugh because I found it to be true. It's like 10, 20 years ago, the most bitter enemy of the center right was the center left, or the center left, and vice versa. And now they
like, this guy sucks.
They have to like handshake on 90% of things because they're fighting the larger polarization around them. Like someone would be, compared to a Donald Trump, most people would take a Mitt Romney in this group. They would be like, but before they would have bitterly fought Mitt Romney to the death. You know, the idea is
exactly.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing else I'd say on that is like the example I use is my mentor J.J. McCullough is conservative. He is a center-right Canadian conservative. When he talks,
what are they conservative about in Canada?
Oh, like just like less taxes and liberals are bad. But it's very, you know, like the Liberal Party and the Conservative Party historically have been very, very close to each other ideologically, right? So it's like it's not a big deal. But like, yes, he's center-right and he votes conservative, and he talks to Destiny, who's center-left, more of like a social democrat type. They like agree on everything because they're not threats to each other anymore. The threats are the edges now. And so that's kind of the example I would sort of use to illustrate that. Yeah, like Mitt Romney and Obama have a lot more in common with each other than, you know, AOC and Fuentes. So, right. I don't know.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, that tracks. By the way, I don't know if you know this. Maybe you're, I guess I would be worried for your content in the future because every one of these political problems is being hashed out and figured out in my chat right now. The Socrateses of the world have debated everything and I think figured it out. They've all put it together and they're huge paragraph length typing that no one else cares to read.
Never stop thinking and talking about politics. The more you do, the more it feeds me.
They've really truly solved it. Okay, here is the next one. The next group that you brought up was called the Balkanized Left, a reference to the Balkan states, which are all fractured and have a ton of infighting. So you've put different content creators' faces on missiles and jets and countries, and they are all just trying to kill each other. And I would love to hear more about this. How is this group doing right now, or what's their growth?
Leftist infighting is nothing new. It's kind of like a meme. The characters I have on here, I'm sure you're familiar with Hassan and H3H3.
Ready to lose the hat and regrow the hair? With Chews by Hims, you can regain your hair and your confidence. Our chews are powered by clinically proven ingredients like minoxidil and finasteride, so you can grow thicker, fuller hair in 3 to 6 months. Your treatment is 100% personalized to your hair goals and comes at an affordable price that works for your budget, so you can step out with full confidence. Hats off to hair growth with treatment that works for you. Start today at hims.com.
Dutch Boy Professional Series works hard for you with top quality primers, durable interior and exterior paints, and specialty products to help grow your business. Dutch Boy Professional Series paints.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, my understanding on missiles and jets and countries, and they are all just trying to kill each other. And I would love to hear more about this. How is this group doing right now, or what's their growth?
Leftist infighting is nothing new. It's kind of like a meme. The characters I have on here, I'm sure you're familiar with Hassan and H3H3.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, my understanding is that there's a big holy war between Destiny, Hassan, and H3H3. That is my understanding.
Yes.
Okay.
Look, I don't know anything about Israel-Palestine. I get all my information about that through Hassan H3H3 drama. There's like, there's Hassan Moss and H3 Israel or something. I don't really know. I don't keep up with geopolitics.
No, okay? It's not nearly as fun. Okay, so that's actually my understanding of this group. I don't even remember exactly what you said in the video. My understanding of this group is it's a bunch of people who really care about streamer drama and are using geopolitics as a lens to constantly engage in that. They don't really care about geopolitical changes. That is a cover for a real deep care about the interpersonal streamer drama of a bunch of people. That is what it feels like to me, because so much of the discussions about the personalities of the people.
Right. It's very strange. It's like if you opened up a gossip magazine and then on page 7 there was like a horrible conflict where tens of thousands of people are being killed. Yeah, and it's like, this is content? Why is this? But and they're aware of this. And also on the more principled left, you'll have a lot of people who are like, I am using the drama slop content to inform people about Palestine, right? Like that's kind of the way that they do things. This thumbnail here is a little bit misleading, honestly, because Destiny and H3H3 are what I would call center left. Vosh is libertarian, very far libertarian left, like a libertarian socialist who would be on the green quadrant. Hassan is like arguably approaching the red, the authoritarian left. He's a much more of a, what you would call a tanky than the rest of these guys. So they all have very fundamental ideological disagreements between them. But I just sort of use this to illustrate, like, all of these people would just define themselves as some sort of leftist or liberal. And H3's case, probably now, he probably would mostly just call himself like a liberal or a social democrat or something. These people all hate each other. Every single one of these people hate each other. No, you can draw no positive line between any of these people. And part of this, I think, is because, like, when you're, I mean, being a political streamer, like, man, that seems like it's real brain rot and really.
Oh yeah,
you know,
the worst, probably the worst
you to
people
be
in
a
the world.
rabid dog.
If you talk about politics on stream, you are, I would say, scum. You know, that's what I would say.
I mean, I've met a lot of political streamers. I've met a lot of these people. And yeah, it's like it rots your brain, and it sort of makes you really defensive and really aggressive. And
I don't think it has to. Just to make, yeah, okay, I was making a joke on myself, my own expense, but I don't think it has to. I don't think it has to rot your brain. Maybe
political streaming.
Maybe I'm. I do some political streaming. Is what I'm saying. And my brain is rotted, so I guess your correlation is very strong. But I don't know that it has to become so. Okay.
Well, I'm kind of curious, because I think you're the only streamer I have met so far that I like. But that's probably, I mean, you know, to be fair, I think that's probably just because every streamer I've met has been a political streamer, which is like only politics all the time, and it's very caustic. I'm curious what you do to like not rot your brain when you're talking about politics.
I skip a lot of streams. Very inactive.
Interesting. I think, okay, honestly, I think it's something about doing it all day, every day, 12 hours a day. I think
it definitely is the hour. You know, the hours could definitely do it. You got to fill 8 hours versus 2.5 to 3. Then you have a lot more. I don't know. I don't want to. I really, honestly, I think one of the reasons that I don't brain rot is I don't comment on everyone else. So I don't want to do that. Actually, I don't want to get into talking about anybody else. I want to talk about my own thing.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, not to like, but you know, I think the problem is the incentive structure is to do that as much as possible.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
No?
I mean,
Okay.
I would say that I think my viewership is doing pretty good, and I have never done. This is the first even toe in the water I've ever had to discussing another content creator. I don't think you have to do it that way. I think it's easy, and I think it gives you easy views quickly, but I don't think you have to do it.
Okay, I think that's wise words from what I can tell. Do you feel like you get that, or like, do you have any questions?
Well, okay, what I would get, actually, I mean, as a group, it clearly really isn't a group. It's a bunch of splinter groups. But I think what you're saying is that all these people would characterize themselves as some form of left, and they're all kind of in the middle of a holy war to be the right version of the left that dominates the online discussion.
I think so. I talked about like right-wing infighting and the purity tests on the right, and it's like it's racial and kind of like, are you a Fed? On the left, it's ideological. And so because it's ideological, there's a lot more opportunity for like very, very pure little nations to emerge that, because you have a different opinion on, say, like a geopolitical issue, or if you're like, we'll use capitalism as like a middle ground between socialism instead of just doing a communist revolution, or we want to use the state versus we want to make it more communally operated. All these things create lots of different divides in the left. And yeah, so that's probably why I would say the left is more prone to infighting, but the right still infights, and we see the right infight. And also,
maybe it's human. We just love to infight.
We love infighting, and also you just tend to see infighting when a group gets power, because like you see like a big liberal leftist coalition right now against Trump, right? Because they both hate Trump. If the liberal leftist coalition ever won, they'd kill each other, right?
Oh, for sure. That is a good point. That is a really good point. Yeah, I do think Trump is a uniter of his opposition in a way that he's united different groups on his side. Okay, the last group. This is this is the scariest one, but also the funniest one. And this is the horseshoe. And you have pictured Thomas Crook.
With Liberty Mutual, you can customize your car insurance to save hundreds. Could you look away?
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Crooks, who was the guy,
Thomas Matthew Crooks.
Thomas Crooks, who attempted to assassinate Trump and had extremely confusing politics, which was that I think he was like Googling, you know, Biden's location. Like he wanted to kill either Biden or Trump or anyone nearby. He was just sort of and I'm sort of describing what you said, but he's a growing group of extremely disaffected young people who are just so, they don't have a political ideology. They're just angry and mad and disenfranchised and, you know, just kind of like wanting to burn it all down. Am I close to where you're at, or give me more detail?
That's accurate. This is also where I fall.
Really? You're more of like a like a League of Legends player. This is.
So this tribe is sort of defined by these people are almost always like young, and the internet has what I call a schizophrenizing effect on ideology. It pulls it apart, it mixes it together, and it often makes it completely incoherent. This guy Googled the closest person he could kill to him, and then tried to kill him. He would have tried to kill Biden. The only reason he tried to kill Trump is Trump was closer to him. This is like a sort of accelerationist, nihilistic violence. And this is the thing that is being like fed by problems on all sides, and just the general lack of meaning, being disaffected. This is what you get. You get what you deserve, basically. So, yeah.
That's dark. That's depressing.
Yeah, it is dark. It's dark. It's a little spooky, and it is only growing in power. So basically, either the problems get solved, or you just see kind of more of this. I'd actually probably put Haas in here, just because of the what to a liberal person, I should say, would seem like far-right cultural views combined with far-left economic views. That's like, it seems incoherent. It can be justified. You might put him on the balkanized left, but the horseshoe is best defined by like these. When you see like someone like assassinate a politician, and then it turns out they have like this weird eclectic, like Luigi, like you read his philosophy.
Yeah, he did have
like,
a weird philosophy, right? He had like a weird, it was like half libertarian, half, it was like, I don't remember it that well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's incoherent. It's kind of internet brain rot. Yeah, and you'll see this a lot more.
Vaping?
Oh, sorry. No, this is just my Foom. This is my sponsor, Foom.
Is this a plug?
It's Foom is a really great product. It helps you get off of vaping, and
you're right here. You're right here, bro. This is all for money.
Yeah, you caught me.
I caught you,
I
dude.
fall into the market forces. Is there anything else you wanted to cover here?
No, I mean, not particular. I enjoyed talking to you. If you have to go, no worries. I just I thought it was fun. I appreciate you explaining these to people. I think there is.
Yeah, I really enjoyed being on here and getting to yap about my fixation. So thank you for having me on.
Oh, no worries. And I'd love to have you on sometime again to talk about the anti-robot movement.
Is conducting a ton of clandestine missions in the South China Sea that we never hear about. From covert operations against China to building alliances and fighting terrorists. Today, I'm going to piece together declassified CIA documents and personal accounts to do a deep dive on the legitimately insane American black ops across the Pacific. First, we need to know about the guys pulling these missions off. America's first Special Forces group is the team responsible for missions in this just gigantic hog of an area of operations. I mean, it covers everything from India to China, down through Southeast Asia and across the island chains to the US Pacific coastline. This region spans across over 1,000 different languages, the world's 3 largest economies, biggest armies, 36 different countries, 16 time zones, and 50% of the world's population and Earth's surface. Behind these cold hard numbers, though, are some of the most beautiful views and ancient cultures that brought us things my viewers love the most, like gunpowder and anime. It's about 5,000 miles from San Francisco to Okinawa, so to cut down on response time, they have an entire battalion of operators already forward deployed year-round here at Torii Station. In addition to that, SF Detachment 39 is forward deployed here in Songam, Korea. What's on First Group's to-do list? 5 out of their 7 mutual defense treaty allies are located here in the Pacific, which means if one of these nations are attacked, the United States is required to respond with just an offensive amount of ordnance. America and China have long been suspicious of one another's intentions and have tried some creative ways of determining what they're really up to. In September 2008, 4 men were hired as crew transporting a 40-foot yacht to a businessman in Japan who had bought the vessel. Sounds routine, right? But of course, none of that was true. Despite all the receipts and bills of sale on board as proof of their cover story, the vessel was actually owned and operated by a CIA shell company, and the 4 crew members were actually from the CIA's Special Activities Center Maritime Branch. They were sent out from their safe house in Malaysia. Their target for the mission was a small island off the coast of Luzon in the northern Philippines. This was close to a ring of artificial islands that the Chinese military had been constructing in this contested territory that the United States and its allies wanted to keep an eye on. But things got complicated very quickly. But before we get into that, gentlemen, new wallet sponsor, what do you think? Whoa, very nice. Look at that. Picked it up from Extra yesterday. Smooth, sleek design, expandable backplate for extra cards, and with one push of the button, my God, Cappy, a quick access card ejector mechanism. Nice coloring. Yeah, that's green ore. And the material's something called 6061 T6 space grade aluminum. But what happens if you lose it? There's a finder card in here. Slips right in, syncs with my phone, and I can track.
Actors, we can make you believe we know what we're doing, when in fact, we do not. Whoops, I have no idea what these buttons do.
I've never driven a stick in my life, but my heart is roll yet!
Small business owner, because I have no idea what I'm doing. But GoDaddy Arrow does, using AI to build a logo, website, and social content.
For Walton Goggins goggle glasses.
Because if your goggles ain't Goggins, they don't belong on your noggins. With GoDaddy Arrow, it's like you know what...
Chip, handcrafted Italian vachetta. Notice the smooth glide of the metal trigger. 14 cards rising up beneath it all, an RFID layer protecting against thieves' cyber intrusions. My God, it even has a lifetime warranty.
The extra travel vacuum kit is perfect for me. This saves me 60% space in any bag. Right now, Extra's offering up to 48% off, and if you use my code CAPPY, you get an extra 10% off. Just click the link in the description or the pinned comment below.
Using commercial scuba gear, 2 of the crew would dive off the boat, swim unseen to the island, and plant a pod full of advanced, highly classified surveillance devices along the shoreline. The expertise of the 4 CIA operatives reveal a lot. Steven Sinek was a former Navy explosives expert, Michael Perch was an expert diver, James McCormick was a marine engineer, and Daniel Meeks would provide operational support for the whole mission. To avoid drawing attention from the Chinese military, the pod was disguised to look like a rock and used only passive electronic listening devices that would not emit any kind of traceable signal. Even if the yacht was stopped and searched by the Chinese Navy, no one would think to question some innocent old scuba divers trying to enjoy the tropic scenery. The plan was to let the pod snoop around for a week or 2, then the CIA crew would return from Japan to pick it back up and send the data back to headquarters. On the surface, a very simple drop-off and pick-up mission. Unfortunately for the team, Tropical Storm Higos was forming in the Western Pacific, and it threatened to pass through the area. A 40-foot commercial yacht just isn't built to handle those kind of conditions. The team had a very difficult choice to make, whether or not to scrub the mission before departing Malaysia. The team decided to go for it ultimately. But the storm kept its constant course over the Philippines and barreled straight for the operational area. There was no time to turn around. Officers back home at HQ in Langley listened as the team reported severe storm conditions over the radio and watched in horror as the eye of the storm passed directly over the vessel's tracking beacon. Then the beacon went dark. The US government couldn't even mobilize any US military assets in the area because they feared blowing the mission's cover. Japanese defense forces did search for them, but they never found anything. The team was officially declared lost at sea a few months later. One of the officers, Stanek's dive buddies, said, quote, "We knew better than to ask questions." Another officer pinned the blame for the fatalities on then Special Activities Center Chief. "There were a lot of pressures to do ops. They just didn't have to die. They did a mission that you didn't have to do." The 4 officers' stars were later added to the memorial wall at the CIA headquarters. This mission was barely talked about in the media. The US Special Forces preparations against China have also gone largely unnoticed. First Group has had to evolve from a counter-terror organization to developing a plan to counter a Chinese invasion in Taiwan. And here's one new declassified way they plan to do it. It's 1800 hours at Kadena Air Base in Okinawa, Japan. A U.S. Army Special Forces ODA is kitted up standing in the belly of a C-130. Their mission? Get on to T2 Island. It's a speck of land in the South China Sea, held by the Philippines, sitting just 30 kilometers away from Chinese-occupied Subu Reef. It's one of the islands most likely to be contested in the event of a Chinese war with Taiwan.
Maybe you could walk me through, it sounds like it's like a joint forcible entry, it's getting on the island. What are some of the challenges?
We actually were the first ODA that proof of concept a military freefall operation jump into an island in the South China Sea. The idea behind this was that you could have operators essentially hey-ho in from 20, 30, 40 miles outside of these islands, hit the islands, and then that way be able to guide in Marine HIMARS units.
The C-130 takes off under radio silence, hugs the sea at low altitude for the first leg of the flight to stay under radar coverage. Total flight time, just under 4 hours. The aircraft stays offshore, avoiding the island's known air defense threat rings. The team exits over the ocean, free-falling silently through the night sky. At 4,000 feet, they pull their chutes. It's a wet drop 5 kilometers off the shore, if you know what I mean. The operators have to swim toward a designated small combat boat that was already pre-positioned by Allied Filipino forces just 2 hours earlier. Everything timed down to the minute, with OCD levels of accuracy for the ODA team. Within 2 hours, the Green Berets have set up a secure perimeter and cleared a sexy landing strip. A HIMARS battery is then flown onto the island. The Green Berets start running ISR with drones, sending target information to the HIMARS launchers. They're painting targets like the Chinese radar arrays on Subi Reef.
Bring in those HIMARS units with help through us actually taking the islands initially, and then be able to sort of island hop our way through the South China Sea on these tiny little islands, be bringing that sort of HIMARS feasibility forward that allows them to then obviously attack Chinese naval ships. I can talk about that because we broadcasted it huge so that China would see it specifically. And sometimes we do this in the military where we want, our adversaries to know some of our capabilities.
The launchers fire and load back up into a C-130, and they're gone from the island before they can be fixed by Chinese counterbat. But it's not all explosives. The United States and China are also waging a quieter war against one another. You may never have heard of the Special Collections Service. They sound innocently like a subdivision of the U.S. Postal Service. In reality, they're a highly classified joint operation between the CIA and the NSA. It's a beautiful, unholy alliance formed and cooked in the depths of intelligence hell. This isn't even acknowledged officially. It's codenamed F6. And it wasn't really fully confirmed until Edward Snowden leaked its existence. Their whole job is to get eavesdropping equipment into impossible places like embassies, foreign governments, and offices. They're like burglars that are bankrolled by a government with a blank check. They've been called the Mission Impossible team of the United States. It's just a crazy force. And in early 2000, China placed an order for a 767 Boeing aircraft because in 2000 they didn't know any better. By 2002, the aircraft was being fitted in San Antonio, Texas. The maintenance had started a year prior. It was all routine, but what wasn't routine was it was being done under the close watch of heavily armed Chinese security guards. Why? Because the plane was like the Air Force One for then Chinese President Jiang Zemin. It was only a few days before the plane was scheduled to shuttle Mr. Xi to the Asia-Pacific Economic Forum in Shanghai, where the two heads of state, America and China, would be meeting. Chinese technicians reportedly found something odd when they were running routine tests before the journey. There was a kind of static whine coming from several devices. Inside the plane, a surveillance bug was found in his private bathroom on the jet, then another was found above the bed in his plane's presidential suite. I had no idea the CIA was naughty like that, wanting to know what the Chinese president's dirty talk was like. The plane was brought to a military airfield north of Beijing, while their investigators looked into how this breach of Chinese security happened. The operation fit the bill for the kind of mission that the Special Collection Service is responsible for. The CIA bribed or blackmailed one of the Chinese security agents, then the NSA provided the device, which was then reportedly operated via a satellite connection. And that's who planted the bug, most likely, one of these Chinese defectors. This is something that could never happen today under this geopolitical climate. The two nations would just never be exchanging sensitive aircraft like that in the first place. In fact, the two countries are so completely closed off to one another that they're resorting to YouTube to send messages. Did you know the CIA has an official YouTube channel? No. I already asked, they denied my request to become their influencer. Starting in 2024, in a bold and really shocking move, they started releasing a series of Chinese language videos onto their YouTube channel. Look at how sleek and high production value they are. A whole crew put millions of dollars into producing this CIA video. They hired entire crews and lighting teams and everything from Hollywood. They're clearly designed to appeal to high-profile Chinese business owners, government officials, or military generals who have got a bone to pick with their government. Someone who's disillusioned by the CCP. Maybe someone who one of their buddies was black-bagged and put into prison in Xinjiang for political crimes or something like that. These videos are fully narrated in Mandarin to appeal to that audience. It gets weirder. The CIA even gives you instructions in the video on how to access this secure site on the dark web where you can reveal information about China to them. This way you won't have to worry about big Chinese brother finding out that you're whispering sweet nothings into the CIA's ear. The campaign reportedly generated tens of thousands of hits within just weeks. So apparently if you want someone at the agency to read your message, you can send it there and all of the CIA interns will dig through it.
There's another part of the way the CIA organization is laid out where there's the political action.
When it comes to PSYOPs or political influence covert action, it's picking the right people with the right experience that can really know the differences of how people think and what motivates them. We need to be way more savvy when it comes to how we help shape the psychological and influence battle space.
China's own Ministry of State Security, the MSS, has launched counter-campaigns, warning their people of the consequences of betraying their country. The former CIA director Bill Burns told the Financial Times in 2025 that 20% of their entire budget is now devoted to stopping Chinese spies and in turn spying on China. Pacific stonk going up. But what if I told you these two spy agencies, the United States, China, CIA, MSS, have actually worked closely together on the same team in the past? Like those episodes where Batman and the Joker had to team up to defeat something even more evil and more communist. In 1980, the CIA pulled off one of the strangest ops of the Cold War. It built a multi-million-dollar spy station inside communist China. This was done in full cooperation and authorization of Beijing. Now, why would they agree to something like that? Because back then, China hated Moscow almost as much as Washington did. After 1969 border clashes where hundreds of Chinese and Soviet troops were killed, Chinese president at the time, Xiaoping, was happy to take American tech if it meant keeping an eye on his old frenemy. The goal was high priority, to eavesdrop on the Soviet Union's most sensitive missile tests, ICBM tests, and troop movements from right across their border. They picked the western region of Xinjiang, was perfectly line of sight to Soviet launch ranges in Kazakhstan. The project is codenamed Chestnut, costing the United States an estimated $90 million over its life, pulled from the black budget, of course.
Psst. Hey, Sarah.
Hi.
If you had to choose, would you listen to elevator music all day or deal with payroll compliance?
Payroll compliance for sure.
Wait. For real?
Switching to Gusto made staying compliant much easier. On top of seamless payroll, they automatically calculate my taxes and file with the right agencies for me.
Can Gusto help my small business with compliance too?
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Choose payroll compliance without the ups and downs. That's work.
That covered the C-141 flights, hauling in 50 tons of NSA intercept equipment, 2 massive parabolic dish arrays, and a secure fiber link back to U.S. analysts. Inside, about 20 American specialists rotated with 40 PLA signals officers. Together, they vacuumed up tons of raw data on Soviet missiles, radio chatter, and troop movements. The partnership ran even deeper, though. It would be like if the Rebel Alliance teamed up with the Empire and decided to rule the galaxy together. In the book What We Won, America's Secret War in Afghanistan, they detail how Brzezinski from the U.S. State Department went to China and asked them to work together with the United States to send weapons to the Mujahideen to fight against the Soviets in Afghanistan. China agreed to do it, On the down low, as long as the US pinky promised not to tell anyone about their secret relationship, China sent 300 advisors to train the militia across the border in Pakistan, and they sent over $400 million worth of weaponry, which was a lot back then. The weapons they sent were nearly identical to what the Russians were using, so they kept a level of plausible deniability, and much of this didn't come out until years later. Then, in June 1989, after the Tiananmen Square killings, relations iced over between the spy agencies of the United States and China, and those spy stations were destroyed, and this kind of cooperation wouldn't happen again. And just mentioning this means that this video will get blacklisted. The entire American Special Forces and CIA actually has its origins right here in the Pacific. You see, during World War II, the US fought across here against the Japanese Empire when they were going absolutely buck wild. But what a lot of people don't know is that at the same time, the US was covertly funneling billions of dollars worth of aid and weapon systems to China to keep their fight alive. Which is nuts, because supplying China with weapons today would be considered cray-cray. And the United States didn't just stop working with their allies in the region after that and say, see you later, bye. No, ever since then, the US has remained deeply involved in the security.
I had no idea that American SF were going to Mongolia and chilling there and hanging there.
It's recent. I was one of the first ODAs there in 2019. We just recently started to work on that alliance. They really like America. It looks like I'm sure you've seen in Ukraine, in the sort of that old Soviet bloc, the way everything's built.
Yeah.
It looks like Ukraine, or it looks like Russia there. Everything is like Russian structured. They send all of their military officers to Russia. So they love Russia. Which is so weird. They love Russia. They love the United States. They're cordial with North Korea. And they don't like China, so they let officers. Everything's built.
Yeah.
It looks like you sort. And we just recently started.
And the U.S. has remained deeply involved in the security.
I had no idea that American SF were going to Mongolia and chilling there and hanging there.
It's recent. I was one of the first ODAs there in 2019. We just recently started to work on that alliance. They really like America. It looks like I'm sure you've seen in Ukraine, in the sort of that old Soviet bloc, the way everything's built.
Yeah.
It looks like Ukraine, or it looks like Russia there. Everything is like Russian structured. They send all of their military officers to Russia. So they love Russia. Which is so weird. They love Russia. They love the United States. They're cordial with North Korea, and they don't like China. So. Super cool and interesting place.
What is the Special Forces operator's strategy here? U.S. trade is worth more than $3 trillion here, making the trade routes in the Pacific a core interest to the United States. American Special Forces work closely with the nations here from their perspective to defend their sovereignty, and they do it at the invitation of the governments, who see U.S. support as a deterrent. The Philippines, Taiwan, Mongolia, Australia, Thailand, Japan, and South Korea are just a few of the close allies, and often it's American operators on the ground who help keep these international diplomatic relations warm. But the Chinese Communist Party see it very differently than the international community. They argue that it's always been Chinese sovereignty in this area for centuries, but Washington frames its presence as keeping sea lanes open to anyone who wants to ride. It's always the small disagreements that can lead to thermonuclear war, isn't it?
And I got to be a little bit more careful about talking about this in Taiwan, because, we are there as Special Forces units. We have been for a long time. We're sort of embedded there in developing sort of all the backside unconventional warfare. If China were to actually try to invade the island, what we do, we go in and we, work by, with, and through, train, advise, equip foreign nations' militaries. That's essentially what we're doing with the Taiwanese Special Forces.
It's not all the US versus China, though. Some of these black ops happened over 500 miles south of mainland China. The details of how First Group got caught up in multiple firefights in Asia are now only just coming to light many years later. Starting in 2001, US Special Forces were deployed to the Philippines to help against Islamic terrorists. The Filipino government had a massive terror problem on their hands, trying to overthrow their government in the south. By 2009, there were 600 US military personnel advising and assisting the armed forces of the Philippines against terrorists. We now know there were a bunch of incidents of firefights of U.S. advisors getting caught in ambushes and engaging enemy here. In fact, by 2014, the CIA was sending in its paramilitary officers to straight up murk terrorist leaders.
Otto just
willy-nilly.
smashed me.
Let's
That was
talk about the
insane.
Philippines. I mean, the Philippines, like we were actively, first group was actively in combat in southern Philippines in places like Mindanao for like 20 years during the global war on terror that nobody knew because in no awards you couldn't get a CIB, but like first group dudes were down there fighting all the time because there's a huge terrorism problem from the southern Philippines down through Malaysia. I think, and most of it comes up through Malaysia. So a lot of people don't understand Malaysia is what 95% Islamic, and so a lot of that, you know, ISIS, spread of ISIS and Islamic terrorist groups moved its way up through Indonesia and into the southern Philippines.
Combat operations continued until 2017 at the Battle of Marwa, which was kind of the last climactic battle here. After that, terrorist groups' presence had been seriously degraded in the Philippines. All told, 3 U.S. personnel died in the fighting. The major takeaway here, though, is that it ended up being an outstanding reason for the U.S. to get closer with the Philippines government and develop a kind of cozy relationship. This buddy-buddy relationship has now bloomed and come in handy years later as it's become one of the main allies and key logistics hubs for U.S. troops in the region in their goal to deter war with China.
It's a super sensitive country because they're trying to keep peaceful ties and good business relationships with China and the United States. And so having American special forces and military, that's a very tight alliance that China is not going to be happy about. Like, they don't want to hear that there's U.S. soldiers doing combat operations on their doorstep.
That might sound insane, thinking about a war happening today between these two giants. But a lot of people forget that the U.S. already fought a war with China in Korea. At the time, the CIA cooked up a wild attempt to take the pressure off America.
Iowa. It's great to be back here in the heart of America's cornfields. I'm here right now to cover a major event, the 123rd Annual National Hobo Convention, aka Hobo Days, where hundreds of hobos from around the country gather to talk about all things hobo related. How long do you see yourself doing this for?
Till I die. I am the captain of a sinking ship.
When I first started out in 1970, we could build fires right in the rail yard.
We're seeing a lot more influx of young riders.
The kids today use a lot of drugs, they drink a lot.
Traveling kids live like in dog years also.
Like, I think you meet the best people out there, but then you also meet the worst. People try to buy my girlfriend off me all the time, and I'm like, motherfucker. Yeah.
They've sort of invented their own culture.
Expanging, busking, flying signs, those are all like ways we consider making money. Expanging's just like spare changing, you know? Flying signs like holding cardboard, busking's playing music. Crack Spain's just straight up asking for like what you want, like, hey, buy me a burger or something. Yeah.
Most people see train tracks and think, get off there, you might get hit by a train. But there's also people in this world who see train tracks and think to themselves, that is what fucking freedom looks like.
The freedom, I guess. I'm not a slave to the system.
They get up and go when they want to. They work when they want to. They rest when they want to. They travel to all these great places all over the United States.
Those people are called hobos.
It derives from the hoboy. Way back in the day, they used to have a hole in their shoulder with a knapsack, and they dug ditches. They used to be called hoboys. To where it's at modern day, we're still hoboys. We're just heading out with better opportunity, traveling workers.
I know that many people out there think that hobo is just a slur used to describe a homeless person. Not the case. A hobo hops on a train to look for work, day jobs, a handyman with a stick and bindle and a heart full of adventure.
Yeah, I do a lot of seasonal work. Like, I'm about to do beats, spent a lot of time out west doing the pot farms.
Tree work, sawman, rope man, disaster area stuff.
Landscaping, painting, carpentry, most dirty jobs that people don't want to do. I will clean up gutters.
There's several different ways to survive.
Someone bought my fingernails and toenail clippings once for $20.
Where was that at?
It's in California. A lot of fucking weirdos out there. Yeah.
As you know, I'm something of a road man myself, so I have a major affinity for hobos.
And so, like many times before, I decided not to drive to Iowa, but instead to hit the side of the interstate ramp in the hopes of hitching a lift. Now, it should be noted that hobos traditionally hop freight trains as opposed to hitchhike, but I've done both, and I prefer hitchhiking purely for social reasons. Train hopping, while offering a much higher degree of picturesque landscape viewing compared to the oppressively commercialized atmosphere of interstate truck stop towns, can be isolating. For one, the train is really loud when it's moving, so it's hard to hold conversations.
Take them out of here.
And then, most people that you meet hiding out in rail yards are either other train hoppers, railroad employees trying to arrest you, or tweakers trying to kill you. With hitchhiking, you see a broader spectrum of humanity. You never know who's going to pick you up off the side of the road, or who you might meet in the nondescript grassy area behind the side of the road.
Well, I'm 37. I live here in Brownsburg. I got 3 kids, and man, I hate to say this, man, but I sold drugs, and that's the way I had to survive.
After a brief yet familiar conversation, I was off to Iowa, over 700 miles away from where my journey began in Twinsburg, Ohio, a small, quirky town that hosts the annual Twins Gathering, which I attended with the Hoff twins. Here's a preview of that.
Do you guys fuck with the police?
Yes, my professors are former police officers. I just took a shooting course this time.
Day one. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, they were bad. They ain't never even been in a fight before. No. You know, it's like, you gotta fight for our love.
Twins. We've all seen them.
Millions of sperm are released during a single ejaculation.
What we enjoy
coming here for is meeting other twins and talking to other twins. People don't understand there is a close bond. We live together, we think alike, and we oftentimes will go and say the same statement in unison.
I would say it's just the equivalent of having like a really good friend that you do everything with, and that's why they say like the twin telepathy and stuff. It's not nothing like psychic. It's just.
If you'd like to watch the full thing, it's currently available on Patreon at www.patreon.com/channel5. Link in bio. Anyways, back to the side of the road.
I found myself where I knew I needed to finish my education. I chose Purdue Global because the faculty understood the different things that military students were dealing with. Deployment, mobilization. Start your comeback today at purdueglobal.edu.
Dutch Boy Professional Series works hard for you, in-store and on the job site, with top-quality durable paints, knowledgeable field reps, and exclusive professional contractor benefits. Dutch Boy Professional Series paints, available at Menards.
Let's get one more scoop of bean dip and we'll hit the road, see what we can get into today.
Within 2 minutes, I was picked up by a friendly motorist. Booyah.
Oh, hell yeah. Fuck yeah, cool. What's up, bro? How you doing? Good. I'm just trying to get out west to Iowa.
The man said he was an immigrant from Nigeria who'd recently gotten his citizenship. He said that despite there being too much gay stuff on TV, he likes the US so far and is looking forward to starting a family here one day.
They're trying to have the gay rights and just don't bring that bullshit around me.
After taking me to a restaurant in Indianapolis,
What an
he drove
immigrant
me all
taxi
the way
driver
to my
thing to say.
destination
That's actually
without
kinda
accepting
hilarious.
$1. And there I was, Britt, Iowa, the Paris of the cornfields.
So yeah, here we are. I'm pretty stoked. Directly behind these trees, there's about 350 hobos hanging out, talking about hobo shit. So we're gonna go in there, figure out what's going on.
Upon my first arrival to town, it was hard to spot any real hobos as I walked down Main Street. As is typical with any kitschy regional Americana event, there were people wearing tongue-in-cheek hobo outfits, eating corn dogs and crazy t-shirts, and giving money to buskers performing Woody Guthrie covers. But then I saw the Hobo Museum in the middle of town, where, after paying a small entrance fee, I was able to feast my eyes on artifacts from back in the 1930s and learn about things like the Hobo Code, a hieroglyphic language of symbols that apparently hobos would use to scrawl important messages in train stop towns, particularly in the West, to convey important information to other working travelers like Fishbone, Bozo Texino, or the legendary hobo dog duo Stretch and Burlington. Of course, by the time the Hobo Code was cracked by academics and put into museums like this, it was virtually obsolete. For some brief history, the hobo way of life began to form shortly after the Great Depression, when down-and-out fellows from across the country would head west in search of prosperity and adventure. Soon it became a culture and a way of life, for returning veterans as well.
After World War II and after Korea, there were a whole lot of military veterans who had PTSD and whatnot, and they just couldn't face going back to regular society. So they went on the rails.
They didn't have money to travel, and a lot of them didn't have jobs, so they traveled to work in the apple orchards and fruit plantations and stuff like that.
What was it like being on the road in the 70s?
Much different than now. Whole lot of difference. So when I first started out in 1970, we could build fires right in the rail yard. Nobody cared what we did, really. As long as we didn't get hurt, we didn't steal anything, we didn't break nothing, nobody cared. The bull would come around, and they were usually like retired cops, and they were really just didn't want to fill out any paperwork. And they would come around and sort of, they weren't really bullies, but they would act sort of aggressive to establish their authority. And they'd be like, all right, I don't want to see any of you guys around when they're kicking cars, you better be out of my yard.
Do you have a hobo name?
K-Bar. Yeah, I was in the Marine Corps, so I broke in with an old guy named Roof. He was an old guy. He started catching out in 1960, so he'd been on the rails about 10 years when I met him.
Maybe another W.
And almost all these old guys have a similar story where they met up with some other old guy who was a tramp who sort of taught them the ropes. The young kids today, not so much. They don't pair up with old guys, but back in the day, that was kind of the way it was. Almost all the adult men in 1970 were veterans of World War II or Korea. They were almost all alcoholics. Many of them had a tragic personal story, but they were almost never talked about it. You know, they were divorced and estranged from their children and stuff like that, but they never really talked about it.
So comparatively, is that pretty different to the people who hop trains now?
Completely different than what's going on today.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I want to take a quick break here to talk about a direct threat to the hobo lifestyle. Anti-homelessness laws, specifically Trump's recent executive order to remove homeless sleeping on the streets. Let's take a look at how the media machine is covering it. The left and right are covering Trump's executive order quite differently. For example, the left-wing Raw Stories headline reads, "Cruel. Trump blasted over quiet new order targeting the most vulnerable." While the right-wing Breitbart headline reads, "Trump's executive order empowers states and cities to remove homeless from the streets." As we know, and y'all know this, different outlets push different. Here it exactly as we trust, which means buzz around and the criminalization of vagrancy were all factors that led to a major decline in hoboship. But the buzz around town was that vagabond travel culture was having a huge resurgence, and apparently a new generation of hobos was forming.
We're seeing a lot more influx of young riders, which I think is absolutely fabulous. Some of the young riders that are a little rambunctious and they just need to fine-tune themselves to learn how to do the right things.
They've sort of invented their own culture. And it revolves around the idea that they're anarchists. A lot of them go around marking up anarchy symbols.
This optimism was refreshing to say the least. The Vice documentary made about this event 9 years ago, which I watched in the car on the way, was literally called Death of the American Hobo, painting a grim picture of a subculture in hopeless decline. As I made my way through town, seemingly out of nowhere behind the city-sponsored mummified hubbub, I could make out the faint aroma of a trash fire and followed it like a signal flare. Certain there were real young hobos lurking in the shadows. And sure enough,
smell the burning
I found
trash.
some.
Paparazzi, yes! Whoop whoop!
Are you a juggalo?
Yes, juggalo hobo, whoop whoop! I love it. I've been sucking on that 2 days. I've been on it for 3 years. Shit, you don't give a fuck. I'll tie a string to my nuts and jump out a 12-story window. I don't give a shit.
So for those that don't know, what does the life of a hobo look like?
Well, it's not like it used to be. Bro, we could jump on a train anywhere and run to New York, California, whatever. But they also used to split off. If you're planning to go to New York, it might split off and fucking end up in, New Jersey or fucking Florida, whatever. Yeah. It was crazy. But now it's illegal. You know, they want to throw you off and throw you in jail for 30 days for trespassing.
What's your craziest, train hopping story?
I was in Boston, Massachusetts, redhead, bombing. We're getting our thing, long story short, before she wants to get off or whatever, she was like, shit on my chest. I'm like, man, I'm already tripping on shrooms. You're fucking with me. No.
She said what?
She said, shit on my chest. Shit. Yeah, okay, so I'm a juggalo. I don't give a fuck. I tried it. I popped a little pooplet on her. She rub it in and she's like, oh, that gets me off. Dude, I had to ditch on that bitch. That's crazy.
Jesus
You know where she is now?
Christ.
Huh? Hell no. No, I got kids in Beijing, China and shit, man.
You have kids in China?
Yep.
Would this make you buy a Ridge wallet? 2 people could win a Lamborghini Huracan Sterrato, a Hennessy Velociraptor, or $100,000? Hold on, let me explain. This is Daniel and his dad, the founders of Ridge.
We're here to introduce the Ridge.
They set out to make the most badass experience for guys getting their wallets, thinking, what's cooler than exotic vehicles and cash? So they decided 2 special people are going to win the sweepstakes of a lifetime, all by getting this, the Premium Ridge wallet. We've spent millions of dollars in research, refining, and testing, as well as thousands of hours making sure Ridge Wallet is the last one you'll own. It's made from the toughest materials in the world to ensure your wallet is made to...
Yeah, I got a scroll in the fucking mail.
Just like that, we were in. I had so many questions. Who were all these young hobos flooding into town? They seemed all so different, yet shared a unified, free spirit. Was there some kind of central idea or attitude that brought them all here?
What dude hasn't thought about just fucking
Tommy S. Pickles.
going
Kinda
drifting?
Like Hunter S. Thompson. You know, because I really
least in the
like
car.
Fear and Loathing
That's
Las
probably
Vegas
it. A lot of
movie,
people do it in
so
their
I
cars
use
now.
references of that sometimes. My old tag is Rango. I used to tag Rango because I'm like next level, like Lizard of Light. My newest one is Smoke and Go, because I smoke and then I go.
Where do you go?
Everywhere.
I'm Batsman, the 2021 Hobo King.
What's going on with this fit, man? It looks great.
Everything, see, I hand stitch myself. So when you ride as many trains as I do, your clothes tear up so fast. I just been keeping up with my own patchwork. This only one way you gotta keep them patched up.
After meeting the Hobo King, my brain flooded with questions, so I decided to start with the basics.
So what does it mean to be a hobo?
Helping other brothers out. You know, do good and good will come back.
Help our brothers overcome.
A hobo is a working traveler, a tramp is a non-working traveler, and then a bum is a non-working non-traveler.
When you're on the road, like, where do you sleep?
Just outside. Like, if it's about to rain, I always carry a tarp, so I just set up a tarp above. Otherwise, I find, like, a little cuddy spot, because my dog just passed this year, but she wasn't, like, the best at having people walk by me when I'm sleeping, so I'd go out of my way to find a little hidden spot.
Outdoors. I like outdoors, so rarely a hotel or anything else like that. Really, really rarely. Usually
You say outdoors, you mean like in a tent or just in the grass?
I'm sharing a tent with somebody right now, but I don't typically travel with a tent. I try to stay where it's 75 and sunny, and I'll go work some places and stuff where you can sleep outside. I'll winter somewhere. I'll head back south and house up somewhere so I can work for a few months and afford to travel and go see friends and go do the jobs and see the places I haven't ever seen before and just get along with everybody.
Do you just jump on a moving train?
No, I wait till they do a thing called crew change. When the engineering conductor gets on and off, I'm getting on and off. When they do their 8-hour shift, I do my 8 to 10-hour shift.
What appeals to you about living this way?
The freedom, I guess, to where I'm not a slave to the system. If I go work and get $1,300 on a paycheck, I might only see $300 of it. It gets me like depressed, become suicidal. I'd rather live out here, do nothing, and live free than be a slave to the system.
Was there a point in your life where you thought like maybe you wanted to go down the white picket fence like corporate job route? Or you just been outlaw roadman to the core your whole life?
I started into this later than most of these people, and so I kind of came into it backwards, just backwards. I don't talk a lot about why I got on the road, but no, I'd already done college, and I was teaching and had a family and enlisted in the Army. A bunch of stuff happened, and life got turned upside down, and I ran away to the beach, and I went and became a beach bum for about 3 months, and then came back home and sold off everything I had, put some money in my sock and start walking. Had a lot of questions, and it's funny how walking or the meditation of moving around and changing scenery and everything is just I feel like you find answers. If you're really asking questions, start moving around and you'll find answers. I came into this, very suicidal and didn't really care, and it's given me a lot of purpose and a lot of friends and a lot of new family. So
after I had a divorce and went through a bunch of stuff, it was an after thing in my life, not something I always wanted to do.
How would you describe your childhood?
I was moving like my adulthood. Foster home after foster home after foster home. I was moved around a bunch, 22 different placements. That's what my caseworker told me.
You have any relationship with your parents?
No, they don't really care much about me. I wouldn't be in foster care if they did. They if I was to die here, they wouldn't mind.
War, divorce, death of children. I just got into a place where I needed to run away and I didn't really care. Probably lacked the courage of my convictions to go through with another suicide attempt. So instead, I just started hopping freight and doing crazy stuff and walking off and getting really lost and I don't know. I think from that core grew a different person that is partly the same as the old man, but a different person. A man can work on anything in solitude, save for character. So you can talk the game, you can talk a lot of talk or whatever, but being around people and being useful to people, I feel, is where you build the most character.
What's like the best thing about this lifestyle?
Being able to see a new place every day or every other day and meet all kinds of new different people. It's sad because a lot of people pass away. You encounter more people passing away than you do living a normal life in the same spot.
What are some of the most common ways to go in the hobo life?
To perish? Shucks. Could be anything random, but one of the most common lately has been drug overdoses, usually fentanyl or something that the government created. It's all conspiracy. It's population control, so we're like the first ones to go. Traveling kids live like in dog years also. And a lot of them they drink a lot, and they don't drink enough water, they don't eat very good.
Put a fresh spin on savory pork with big steakhouse vibes. With flame-kissed wood smoke. With velvety chili butter. Discover a new favorite and put a fresh spin on flavor.
I try to eat decent food and drink decent beverages and You know, I'm still not invincible.
What are some of the dangers in being a hobo?
Well, losing limbs.
The trains for one, and then the people you run into, and they're like desperate, down on their luck and desperate. So when they're like that, they're willing to like try to take advantage of you.
Yeah. Have you had any close calls before?
Several, yeah. I almost been raped a few times out here too, so it gets ugly out here.
And especially if you're a gal, you know, they have it way worse.
I seen a girl actually, one time we were hopping a train. This girl, she got her leg missing. She hit her foot in the train wheel, and I carried her away from the tracks. I could see the skeleton of her foot hanging out, the skin, all the meat hanging off her foot. Really graphic, and it was really bad.
I almost got hit by an Amtrak train in like Tacoma once, yeah. But like I said, tweakers are the real issue. They fucking come out with their knives and shit trying to stab you, and you know, like. But if you have a good head on your shoulders, you know, you can try to stay away from it.
Is it technically illegal to hop trains?
Yeah, it's illegal to trespass and get on other people's property. It's legal to ride the trains. Yeah, it's definitely illegal.
What's the actual charge for hopping a train?
To whatever they want in whatever county you get caught in. So it could be a week. It also depends on which county and what state and what train company. You could go to jail. They could hem you up for up to 6 weeks or 8 weeks.
It all depends on if you just not trying to tag it up the place. It look like me with Patch, you just trying to ride. They usually write you a ticket and let you go. But if you look fresh and clean and stuff like that, look like you're trying to tag up the place or vandalize, they usually will take you to jail, write you a ticket.
For those who don't know, what's a bull?
Oh, a railroad bull is like a railroad cop who just tries to pull you off. They're looking for you, you know, on the trains and stuff. Yeah.
They're allowed to like beat the shit out of you, right?
I mean, I guess, you know, I mean, cops, you know, and any authority figure do anything they want, so.
But like BNSF cops don't have to Mirandize you. They can just start punching you in the face like a bouncer.
I kind of think that, yeah, I don't know fully, but definitely they can pretty much do whatever they want, especially when you're out in the middle of fucking nowhere, you know.
Have you gone to jail for it before?
Yes, I have. Because I tried to duck out really quick, and there was nowhere to go. But it was all right when I got out. Everything worked out. Didn't get any extra charges. Got off scot-free, basically.
How long do you see yourself doing this for?
Until I die. I am the captain of a sinking ship. Like the captain goes down with his ship. And so I'm going to do the same thing.
While obviously a bit different in musical preference and political orientation from the storied hobos of old, I could see a lot of similarities in the characteristics of the old school vagabonds that K-Bar described and the new ones that I'd met, namely, sharing a tragic personal story that led them into a life of wandering. It became clear by the end of my time with the new hobos that while not sporting a stinky stick and bindle and bulky gray beards, they certainly embodied the spirit of adventure, restlessness, and financial creativity that gave hobos their name in the olden days. Not to mention, the new hobos are still shrouded in some degree of secrecy. While the hobo codes from the museum are long gone, most of these new travelers possess something even more powerful, an illegal, constantly changing document containing the shift schedules of every single railroad yard in the United States, and more. Out of respect for the culture, I will not name this document or tell any of you guys where to get it, because I can't even get it. It's for hobos only.
It tells you by location, it tells you where you can go to catch a train and how to go about it, like where there's a hole in the fence. And sometimes it tells you the times that you're likely to see a train. It's more or less like field intelligence. When I got this, the guy that gave it to me said, "You got to raise your right hand." And I said, "What?" And he says, "You have to raise your right hand and swear." And I said, "What am I swearing to?" And he said, "You're swearing that you're not going to give this to anybody else that's not supposed to have it, and you're not going to put it on the internet." And I said, "Okay." So I raised my hand and I said that. And he said, if you make a copy of it, you have to make the next person swear. So it's like an honor system. You're not supposed to give or make a copy of it for anybody except an experienced tramp. The idea is they do not want children getting a hold of a copy of it on the internet and deciding to run away from home and go hop trains and get killed. You cannot put it on the internet. You cannot give it to children. You cannot sell it. You cannot copy it for a profit. If you make a copy for an individual that you trust, it has to be someone you trust and not just some stranger. You can only charge them what it costs you to make it. So if it costs you $10 to make it, you can only charge them, you can't charge them $20. It's against the rules. And if somebody finds out you did that, your ass is shit.
What's the name of your Chinese son?
That I don't know. I couldn't read yeah. They send you a scroll and then they send you a little pamphlet that says you got to take this little DNA test, swab, you send it back, and then you eventually get a little thing saying you're 99. Like Maury show, man.
You have a message for the kids out here who might want to consider train hopping?
A fucking school. You don't want to run on this fucking rail shit. You don't want to be bouncing around, living from fucking check to check. Go get you a little goddamn car, run that shit. Don't try and run into the ground, but fucking get out there and do it. Hey, Junior, come on, get in this shit. This is Milo, man. He's cool as shit.
What's up?
Hi. Junior, come and get it. What do you got to say to the hobos? Or kids?
Hi.
It's football season, so get in today for wings at just...
So tell the people where we are right now.
We're in the red zone.
What's the red zone?
Shit, get physical with it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it's wild over here.
It's a dangerous area?
Yeah, very dangerous for sure.
We say, hey, you feel me?
A house shot up not once, but twice, shaking neighbors on Detroit's west side.
While visiting that loved one's grave, they found a body. That person called police, and officers from the 8th Precinct came out to investigate.
We protect our hoods where we from, you know what I'm saying? It's my block right here. None of the parents let their kids come out because they still going off of what the block used to be. They haven't accepted what it's becoming.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's like they don't believe it yet. And we genuinely just trying to turn this block into something better than what it used to be. I've seen a lot of shootouts and niggas getting popped and dropped, all kind of shit over here, you know what I'm saying?
Detroit, Michigan has long been notorious for being one of America's most dangerous cities. At one point, it was America's murder capital, but as of late, it is ranked somewhere between the 2nd and 5th most dangerous city in the country. But before Detroit became what many call a no-go zone, it was a boomtown. You see, Detroit was the beating heart of America's auto industry, and in the early 1900s, employers like Henry Ford were offering an unheard of $5 a day wages, which sparked a great migration of black families from the Deep South to come north to chase economic opportunity and leave behind the danger and misery of living under Jim Crow laws. And for decades, life was good. Detroit's black community thrived, and many gained middle-class status and real access to the American dream of home ownership and prosperity. But beginning in the 1970s, deindustrialization hit the city hard. Factories closed, jobs vanished overseas, and Detroit spiraled into a financial crisis that lasted for many, many years. However, the Detroit of today has been making a big comeback, but in the hood, good job opportunities are still very hard to find, with most of the time residents needing to leave their neighborhoods just to find decent paying work. So today we dive into the trenches of Detroit and visit 3 different Detroit hoods. We connect with rapper and mogul Icewear Vezo, Detroit legend Snapdog, and rising striker rapper Bad Guy Trek. And we are also joined by a special guest, my dear pal Brandon Buckingham. Folks, let's get to it. But first, a quick word from our sponsor. Keegan, are you playing phone games?
Yeah.
And are you making any money while you're playing it?
No.
Keegan, you know you're playing games like a goddamn moron right now. There's this app out there that you can test games. Like game developers have apps they want tested. You play them, and you can actually make money while playing the game.
Really?
Yeah, dude. So if you're driving all the way to Detroit, you have 7 hours to kill. You could actually be making money playing games on your phone.
It's not a bad idea.
So what the creators of the app want me to tell you, Keegan, is actually the highest way to level up is to play multiple games at once. Sounds counterintuitive, but if you make in-app purchases, they actually reimburse you quicker and you level up faster. I guess to me, it's a no-brainer. If you are going to be playing games on your phone as an adult, why not make a little bit of money? I mean, in this economy, and yeah, I mean, I've seen screenshots of guys that made $93 doing this.
It's a solid deal.
So folks, if you want to jump in on this action, hit this QR code or hit the link in my description or hit the link in my pinned comments and get started for yourself. Play games, make money, boom. All right, let's get to Detroit. All right, we're in Detroit, one of the most nitty-gritty cities in America and in the Midwest. And we're starting this episode off with Snapdog. And I like dogs, and big dogs gotta eat, so I feel like the chemistry is perfect. How y'all doing?
You look familiar as hell, bro.
Good to meet you.
He look familiar as hell. Probably seen him on one of the Instagram reels.
What's up, bro? How you doing? I'm Tommy. So tell the people, where are we right now?
We're on the M block. M block, man. 27 days.
A Bronco day, 27 day.
What's Bronco Day?
My brother day. You know, this is day to day.
You had a twin brother?
Yeah.
Identical twin?
Yeah.
Something happened to him, though?
Yeah, he got shot by a cop trying to break in the house.
He was trying to break into a retired cop's house?
Yeah.
To rob the place?
I guess, I don't know.
Today is a very special day because he's 32 years old.
32.
That's wild.
Yeah, nigga. Let me tell y'all this. Let's celebrate Bronco in heaven like you would celebrate down. Happy 32nd birthday.
Everybody free to get drunk today.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Bronco! Okay. Everybody say happy birthday, Bronco. Happy birthday, Bronco! Yeah.
That's one of the realest white boy in America right over there, Brandon Buckingham.
You the Brandon Buckingham.
He's been doing curls.
It's okay though.
You look cool, bro. I fuck with the glasses, the mustache, all that, gang.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for having
You
me.
got the mic and everything. Yeah, nigga, we sliding, gliding, we ain't motherfucking high, nigga. Selling out guns, I be scared, stay your bitch ass in the house. Nigga on Jesus sandals, ask my mama and them. These niggas don't make it to the hospital. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Great philosopher Socrates once said, "To find yourself, think for yourself." Great philosopher Arby's once said, "Here's some Greek euros, 2 for $7." Arby's, we have the meat.
Shut up.
We're pulling up to Vezzo's neighborhood, who is widely regarded as one of the realest guys in Detroit. Just a guy that the city really loves. He'd be a guy that I want a lot of young men to hear and look up to.
Dig what I'm saying, man.
You have impeccable fashion, you know that?
On the drip side.
For those not familiar, Icewear Vezzo is one of Detroit's biggest rap stars and has done songs with icons like Little Durk, Kodak Black, and DaBaby. He's also a savvy investor that has leveraged his rapper money into a multi-million-dollar portfolio that includes a large amount of both residential and commercial real estate. Together, we go to the spot where he grew up to learn more about his story. I wouldn't even know what to wear if I was you. You have like stuff that I've never even seen before.
I appreciate that, dog.
So tell me, where'd you take me? Where'd you bring me?
This the house I grew up in right here. You know what it is now? It's an adult home. Older men who don't really know how to take care of themselves, but need somewhere to live, they come and live here and shit. Goo-wop. What's up, doggy? That boy. Check this out. Let me tell you how I met him. This Webo right here, right? So we was kids and shit. I had a little car. It was a stolen car, though. I just met him or whatever. Nigga asked me to use a car. I say, bro, how old is you, bro? He say, I'm 16. So I'm like, all right, bet, go ahead. You know, take that bitch. It is what it is. We thugging. So my homeboy Ghost, he say, bro, why you get him the car? I'm like, shit, that nigga can drive. He's 16. Like, bro, that nigga 13 years old, bro.
I feel like one thing Detroit's known is for finding ways to make money. Like, it's a hustler town.
No, this is, though. You know, this is a city of hustlers. We ain't really, this one really like no heavy gang banging type place. We get money, niggas. We main so represent our areas, our neighborhoods, protect our hoods where we from. You know what I'm saying? It's my block right here. It's time.
Squishier there.
You ain't no kids outside. None of the parents let their kids come out because they still going off of what the block used to be. They haven't accepted what it's becoming. You get what I'm saying? It's like they don't believe it yet. And we genuinely just trying to turn this block into something better than what it used to be. I seen a lot of shootouts and niggas getting popped and dropped, all kind of shit over here. You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, you chill on this motherfucker too long, 100 narco cars pulling up in gang unit, all that. We don't got to deal with that right now because we flipping the whole vibe of what this block represent. Right now, this block represent growth. We share every day. You feel me?
I'm Tommy.
bro. It's my fault.
Nice to meet you.
I'm bullshit. I'm drunk.
It's all good. It's all good. And you are?
Bag out Track.
Track is a guy who has his hands in the mix in Detroit. To give you an idea of who he is, here are some shots from some of his music videos.
Don't give a fuck about the cops. We took them bitches on the chase. A nigga talking about the track. He pop out at a nigga place. I been chillin' out the way. Make it hella fucking pay. Told another Drake. Don't hesitate to blow it at your face.
From Detroit, you feel me? 19 years old, turned up with this shit. You know how this shit going. You feel me? Outside.
Okay, introduce your crew for me. Introduce your crew.
What's Twan now? This my nigga Twan, you feel me? My blood cousin. This my nigga Dre right here, you feel me? My nigga Keo. All the guys. You feel me? This bro. You feel me? My sister in here too. Nah, say what up. Say what up. This my sister Tay right there, you feel me? We outside. You feel me? We turned up. We out here. You know what's going on? Bad guys, free Scat, free TJ, free Rail, free Vaughn.
A good amount of the crews having legal troubles?
Yeah. You know, free the guys, you feel me? Little minor bullshit, but we gonna shake back every time. Loki, I had my older brother Tato that passed away. He used to say it all the time. They had a little, you know, when they was younger, they had they little shit going on and shit. I just carried it on when my brother passed away. You know, that shit really mean a lot to me. We stand tall on it, you feel me? You know how this shit going. All right, what's up, Brandon? What's the word? I see some of your videos too.
Hey, thanks for having us out here.
Hell yeah, you know we about to tee up.
We got the big dogs out here. Big dogs.
Big dog for sure. That shit scared you a little bit.
Loud noises.
You gotta stay on point for sure. We good over here. We good over here, man. You feel me? We straight. You see how we chilling out here?
I'll be honest, I've never been anywhere where they've said we're not good over here.
So you're going live right now. Is that a security concern, do you feel like?
Security?
Hold on. Security. Hold on. Because when people watch things live, you never know.
Hold on. What the fuck you niggas just say to me?
Do you ever get concerned?
Our location is giving up right now.
Okay, location giving up. Okay.
He was in a situation in Chicago that went very south because of the
shot my cameraman.
This is the story of how I almost died in Chicago.
They shot the white boy, Randy Buckingham.
The final moments I filmed before we exited the recording studio, and were met by 6 masked gunmen who emptied over 60 rounds at us at close range, injuring 4 people.
The shooting happened right outside of Studios. As a matter of fact, I want you to come take a look at this. One of the bullets pierced this door, and that's not the only one. We found a shell casing on the sidewalk, the same sidewalk where 4 men were shot.
What you think going around this bitch?
I don't know. Shootings and murders.
Nah, nigga, my block, nigga. This block, 27 block.
Well, I'm trusting you have it secured, but
this bitch always secured, boy.
Do you guys have any snipers? Because I'd like to know if there's a sniper.
Ain't nobody coming through here. We don't got beef. We humble niggas. You don't want to beef with us. We got love out here in the streets, bro. Bitch.
I will say this, I've been in 3 different shootouts, and every time people said a very similar sentiment about how we were
And guess what? Them niggas got ops, and they tell you they had ops. They know they can't be on their block.
I was the first one to ever join the military in my family. When I got out, I knew that I wanted to go back to school, and I was...
We own every house on this block, except for probably about 6 houses. Between, you know, me, all my brothers, and like my family, my cousins and shit, we all used to live over here, and we all came back and bought some shit. Yeah. I sold this house. They ain't did shit with this house. This was my first house I ever bought. I bought this house when I was 18.
How much did you buy it for?
I spent $2,500 on that house.
$2,500?
$2,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much work did you have to do to fix it up?
I put about $20,000 into it. I did the wrong thing with the crib. It was my first crib. I turned it to a trap house. I spent $10,000 on this crib right here. I put about $50 into it.
The average rent for a house like that?
Anywhere from $900 to $1,100 a month. You heard?
That's an unbelievable deal. First property I ever got, 4-unit building, $157K. Each unit is rented out for $800, brings in $3,200 a month.
That was a good deal.
Solid deal?
Yeah, because that's long-term money. That's long-term finance. That's a building that you don't sell. You keep that. You know what I'm saying?
It's appreciated well, too.
Exactly, bro. That shit gonna, you know what I mean? The building gonna eventually pay for itself. Then everything after that is just profit.
Have you ever had to deal with, because now you have money, either people think they're gonna get a better deal from your, hey, hook it up, it's family.
Without a doubt. It's always like that.
They see the $1 million paychecks, but they don't see the 50, 60K overhead.
They gotta go into this shit. This shit ain't easy, bro. This shit take a lot of money, bro. Like, that's with everything, though. You know, you gotta still pay for the bitch. You gotta pay for the marketing. You might gotta pay a PR company.
Taxes on that?
Videos, everything. You gotta pay taxes without a doubt. Ain't no way around paying taxes. A lot of rap niggas done went broke because they don't believe in paying them taxes.
When you see how much work you put in, what you survived to get to where you are, and you see 30, 35% of your shit getting taken by Uncle Sam, how does that make you feel?
I feel like shit, bro. I don't like it because in reality, what the fuck is we paying taxes for?
If only the people could unite under one banner.
We'll never unite, though. We'll never unite. We ain't ready for that because it's too much division.
How did you get hip to investing? Did you have a mentor? Did you learn it? How did you figure it all out?
I figured it out mainly on my own, you know, by force. Just my back being against the wall. You heard, it wasn't nothing that I wanted to do. I ain't planning on being no businessman or doing this, that, and the third. It just happened, you know, just natural instincts, just being a hustler.
Are you shooting for a particular number, or are you just kind of in it of the sport
I'm shooting for that
business?
Dollar. Yeah, I want that dollar. I need that dollar.
Is
I need
business
that
a sport to you?
Yeah, it's fun to me, without a doubt. It's therapeutic for me. It's my fun. It's what I do for fun.
What's the fastest you think you've allegedly gone in a car?
I ain't touched 200 yet, you feel me? That bitch, I'm scared of that shit, you feel me? I did 180 though, 180.
Was that scary?
It wasn't even scary, you feel me? Once you on the clear ass freeway, just dogging that bitch, you will be straight.
Yeah. You could evaporate going 180 and crashing.
For real, as long as you know how to drive, you'll be straight.
Huge a lot in Detroit. People keep telling me it's on the floor, and then I check the floor and there's nothing there.
What that means is like, you feel me, it's going on. You feel me? On the floor, me like, oh, this shit going on, it's on the floor. You feel me? So like, say, y'all, you tapped in with me earlier. You gotta get outside, tell me what, it's on the floor. You feel me? That's what it means.
I don't know, like I didn't bring a dog here, but people are talking about dog shit and stuff.
Dog shit is like paint, you feel me? Like I got a lot of dog shit on me.
Yeah. What was the youngest when you saw something crazy go down?
I was probably about like the age of 8.
8?
See, I was like 8 years old at a Halloween party and shit. Feel me? Shit started getting wild in there, you feel me? Shit got crazy in there. I don't want to say too much on the cameras though, you feel me?
I want to ask, how do you guys feel about like the big trend of disrespecting the dead and smoking on
We don't play that.
We don't do that.
We don't even do it.
We don't do
even if you do it to us, we don't even do it. Now we might come talk to you in our way, and you ain't gonna do it no more. The youngs be doing, the young niggas, YNs do that shit, but we don't diss the deads, man. We smarter than that.
Yeah.
You telling on yourself, gang.
You just launched a song called YNs that was really good.
Yeah, show the young niggas how to get money. Get it off the rebound, we drumming. Shit straight, pull it down, we thumping. Yeah, switch on the guy blow like Trump. I can get a nigga whack for 100. 10,000 on his head ain't nothing, nigga. Last nigga pulled down talking crazy. We had to strip his ass butt naked. 5 seconds quicker than to run it back. If you try to run, we ain't gon' chase. Bitch nigga thought I was talking raps when I say I'm counting all of these faces. Yeah. Hey.
I would say that's one of the best verses we've heard in a long time.
Yeah, gang. That's real street shit, gang.
We need more of that. Rap to me has lost its way. There's not enough people writing good bars and making things happen.
Yeah.
It's exciting to hear that.
Yeah.
You guys remember the app from earlier? Made some money, got the guys some drinks. Make sure you go check it out.
Folks, one last reminder, if you want to get paid playing games on your phone, click the QR code right here or click the top link in the description and get started.
We have fresh and pressed juice, everything 100% organic. When I was coming up, it was a lot of liquor stores, it was a lot of grocery stores, restaurants, everything from people that was living out here and putting businesses in our community and bringing the money back out here. But I said, you know what? When I do my next business, I'm gonna implement those same tactics. I'm gonna come to their community, put a business in their community, and take my money and give it back to the hood. So that's what we're doing. You heard?
If you look at a lot of businesses in the hood, they're owned by people that live outside.
They live outside, and whether they white, black, orange, green, or yellow, you know, it ain't more so a racial thing.
His people.
As a new mom and content creator, LegalZoom's really helped me out. I use LegalZoom to register an LLC and start a trust for my kid. Oh, love you, LegalZoom. When you need a legal hand.
Perfect time for that to get up. Oh fuck. Can't believe I've done this.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
You have this cartel now that is, you have El Mayo Zambada is gone. El Chapo's sons are cutting a deal. One of them apparently has made an alliance with the head of the new generation cartel, a man by El Mencho. His nickname is El Mencho. Nemesio Ceguera Cervantes is his real name. last time I was here, there was like this was almost 5 years ago. I was here. There were questions about if he was even alive or not. You know, people thought he was like being kept alive as a slow figure because he's low key, very low key. Not like he's not flashy. Everything's militarized. He's very good at his tradecraft. But recently, you know, he's very much alive. He's very much exposed himself a few times. He was almost arrested recently, and the federal police apparently tipped off his security about the operation against him. It's the second time he was almost arrested. He's the biggest target right now in Mexico. We recently learned through the media of the Trump's authorization of utilizing military action in Latin America in general, you know, all the way from Venezuela all the way up to Mexico. And you know, you hear these rumblings of like, how is this military operation going to look like? Is this going to be an invasion? You know, are we going to see like a column of U.S. Marines driving down to Tijuana? We'll probably spend some time in Tijuana. It's probably not a good idea. Are we going to see like people, Delta Force guys showing up in Tijuana in Culiacan and going on a raid on their own without permission of the local authorities? What's this going to look like? I don't see a direct trust between Mexico and the United States anymore. There's issues there. The U.S. has realized that politics are compromised at high level in Mexico.
Completely.
With the example of the recent almost arrest of Nemesio Seguel Cervantes Lemencho, you see that the federal forces are compromised as well. So, like, who do you trust as an American force that is trying to cut the stem of drugs into this country is kind of the excuse that they're utilizing for this designation, and
it is super pervasive.
Who do you trust down there? I posted. I'm friends with a bunch of dorks, and they're all looking at flight tracker and intelligence and stuff like that. And I'm a dork too. And one of them sent me this suspicious American drone flying over the state of Mexico in circles. And I posted it immediately. You know, I think I was one of the first ones to post it online. And a press briefing happened almost immediately. And the head of public safety in Mexico, Omar Garcia Harfuch, said like, "Oh, yeah, we asked for this drone to fly over this area." Who did you ask? This is not a military drone, but we asked for it to fly over this area. Which I don't think he knows what the fuck's going on. I don't know why. I don't think he knows why there's a drone flying out over a very specific part of Mexico. I don't know. It seemed like he didn't, or either he didn't want to reveal this drone, but there have been many times recently of drones just flying close to the border or over Mexico. They're clearly drawing a map, an intelligence map of targets in Mexico. So something is coming, I think.
Whoa.
But what is it going to look like, though, is the question that people are asking. I don't know. Speaking to somebody like Gafe down in Mexico, he was a former member of the Special Operations. And I asked him, like, hey, what is the military going to do if the U.S. says, like, we're going in without your approval? He said, well, if you start fighting the cartels without approval of the Mexican government, you will turn criminal organizations into freedom fighters. And they're already integrated into the military in certain ways because some of them are working for them and some of them are working for us. So you will make the whole a cohesive force against you.
Oh, boy.
Which is an interesting theory, you know, if that happens.
That seems likely.
It does. I
mean,
yeah,
because there's like anti-U.S. sentiment already.
It is,
and then also the closing of the borders, and
it's a perfect storm. I mean, Trump is divisive, and in Mexico he has been turned into this very clear like enemy. Like, this is the enemy, you know. Specifically by politicians down there, he's pretty easy to just vilify. Like, it's well, you know. Why is Sinaloa on fire? Maybe it's because you have a corrupt governor there who was clearly in cartel ties and stuff like that, who's part of your party, but you haven't figured out how to get him out of office. Maybe it's that, or no, it's the U.S. because they abducted El Maya. That's why that place is on fire.
That's why they charge someone with treason.
That's why they charge somebody with high treason, which is unheard of. But there you go. So like, who are you going to trust in that realm? And so Mexico has pressed the U.S. is responsible for this, and they're kind of wiping their hands from it. And the U.S. keeps pointing their finger at high-level government, which is something, again, 5 years ago, I spoke about this on this podcast, and I got a lot of shit for it. I said, there's no way of going after cartels in Mexico without going after the government, because they're one and the same in a lot of places. And that was back then, and now it's even more clear as how tied they are.
If nothing happens, if the United States doesn't do anything, how much bigger can the cartels get? This is the question. It's like, what is going to happen to just this entire country?
If you have, and this is what that's why you have a lot of conflicts happening in routes that are leading towards the border. The Sinaloa cartel operated in a very old-fashioned way. You know, they wouldn't no cagas donde comas. It was their politics. Don't shit where you eat was their politics for a long time. You saw a change in this when I don't know, the brutality aspect and how this shit changed in Mexico. There was an incident. Members of Los Arellano Felix cartel, the Tijuana cartel, were in a direct conflict with elements of El Chapo Guzman's organization. And they had a assassin.
FanDuel's dropping profit boosts every college football Saturday. So how do we spread the word?
I got it.
We boost our bus with rockets and fly to tailgates everywhere.
Love it.
Get a profit.
They had an assassin basically infiltrate the living circle of one of El Chapo's main guys, El Güero Palma. And he seduced his wife, killed her, and abducted his kids and threw them off a bridge and sent that video to El Güero Palma. And I think brutal shit had happened after that, before that, but I think that set off this. At some point, that whole war that happened, you start getting the element of the Zetas coming in, who were former special operator guys who basically said, like, we can start our own cartel, which a lot of them were Fort Bragg trained individuals that went down to, some of them went through the Green Beret course. Foreign nationals go through that course a lot. So they went to the Green Beret course, and then they go back to Mexico, and then as soon as they get back to Mexico, like, oh, congratulations on your cool Green Beret and all this training. Come train our guys. Or come work for us. So at some point, all of this started militarizing the conflict in Mexico. It went from gang against gang violence, which is like very reminiscent of some of the stuff that happened up here during the gang era, or some of the Al Capone era, shootouts between people. The Zetas changed the game. They started bringing in guerrilla warfare tactics into this realm. They started doing all of those torture videos and cartel execution videos. That comes from them. They realized that part of a guerrilla warfare campaign is propaganda, and how can you make propaganda of shooting a guy in a field?
Right, film it.
So they changed that game. They started realizing that it's one thing having a kid with like sneakers on the back of a truck with an AK whose dad was part of the organization and he brought his kid in. But it's probably a better idea to have militarized or paramilitary groups working with us, So they started getting these evolutions of ideas of what a criminal organization should be. And all of that, the members of the new generation cartel that is now kind of like dominating Mexico started off as a Zeta hunting force by the Sinaloa cartel formed in Jalisco.
Flexing on them.
And they said, like, well, we can do this for ourselves now, too, as well. So that's how they originated in a lot of ways. So this organization has taken the textbook learning process of all these other cartels and is now this cartel with all this foundation, educational foundation, as far as how to set up an organization, how to set up all these transnational routes, how to operate on both sides of the border,
It is an
how
AD
to
shakeup.
augment their capabilities constantly through technology. Drone warfare was first seen, I think, in Mexico. You saw drones dropping bombs and shit like that in Mexico before the Ukrainian conflict. But they got really good at it. I mean, the Ukrainians have fucking taken that shit to an art form. There are Mexican nationals fighting for their foreign services, their foreign brigades in Ukraine. And some of them have gone into that route, drone operating. And some of them are coming back. And you started seeing this sudden sophistication. It used to be bomblets dropped from these commercial drones, and the explosives in them were probably mining level explosives. Start seeing these bomblets made, and they were more reminiscent of Colombian explosives or IRA.
What just
era
fucking
explosives.
melted me?
And now you're seeing these
Took that much from the
coordinated drone
circle?
attacks on military forces in Mexico. I think they recently
That's
got
wild.
some high-level army official. They got him with a drone. I didn't kill him, but they almost killed him. So we started seeing these drones now being operated as scouts. So you can't get close to them because the drones are in the sky. So now you're seeing drone cartels fighting against other cartel drones. So now we're seeing cartel guys with these futuristic anti-drone guns in the field.
I've seen those things, yeah.
They look like space guns, but on the hands of a cartel guy wearing like sandals, which is what the fuck's going on with these people? So you start seeing all this augmentation of capabilities. This single cartel now has all of this history behind it, all of these lessons behind it, all this training behind it, all this technology, and it is poised to punch a hole right through its territory and go up north into the United States, right? There are no segments of the border wall currently that are actually controlled or a city that is controlled by the new generation cartel that is on the border. That's not the case now. But there are places that are starting to maybe look like they're going that way. Tijuana being one of them, where I'm from. You start seeing the last remaining sons of El Chapo Guzman that are free. Archivalo is the strongest one. And his faction of Los Chapitos, as what they call themselves, this past year announced that they had reached an alliance with this new cartel, this new generation cartel. So it's a cohesive force, and they had historical ties and a part of the border that they owned already, that they inherited from their dad. So that nightmare scenario, having this cartel now having a clear doorway into the United States, is pretty close if it's not there already.
And how wild would it be if the border was still wide open? Because they've cut down on illegal immigrants by some high 90%.
Yeah, it's way down. There's still crossings going on.
Oh, yeah, I'm
it's
sure.
it's really expensive. It's really expensive.
You got to get that guy off TikTok.
Yeah. There's a bunch of ways they do. I saw one where they were like, hey, they'll grab a portfolio full of copies of IDs, and like, oh, you look like this dude, and then they'll give you they'll say like, just get really drunk before you cross, and they'll pretend you're asleep, and they'll give you paperwork that looks like the dude, that looks like you, and that's how they cross with people, and it's a lot. It's very expensive. But that's how they cross you. Fast boats, there's a bunch of videos online, just boats just arriving on the beach and just dudes jumping out. It's a classic
And
one.
running.
There's like
once they're in, they're in.
There's a shortage of those wave runners. There's a shortage of them in
Really?
Mexico because they just buy them just to.
Well, a short trip. I mean, if you get on one in Tijuana and you hop over to San Diego, it's not that far.
No, and they'll swarm it now. They'll do many of those boats. And if you were in TJ, you can see off the coast. There's a bunch of Navy ships now off the coast there. So like, which is a cause for alarm for a lot of Mexicans. When I say Mexicans view any sort of intervention by the United States with fear. Although they are also fearful of what happens if this is allowed to continue in Mexico, and they don't see any solutions from the government. So
it seems like the opposite. It seems like it's going more and more towards the cartel.
Yeah.
I love to take my dog Coco outdoors because I'm always on the go. That's usually when I get somebody's urgent email.
Yeah, I just hate this guy I'm about to yap about. He's a degenerate streamer that no one really watches in the first place. His career is a bigger flop than the new Snow White movie, and apparently he's been banned numerous times from basically every streaming platform, but he keeps crawling his way back like the little roach that he is. And even though he's a public nuisance that's perpetually goober maxing, he doesn't even really have a community of people that follow him ironically. Typically, with a special specimen like this, there will be people that tune in just to watch all of the madness unfold and point and laugh at the guy. But he doesn't even have that because he is just so unbelievably lame. He's such a colossal loser that it's not even fun to watch him ruin his life. Like, you get more entertainment out of a knock-knock joke than tuning into this guy's streams. He's a pile of shit that not even mosquitoes will fly around, and there's an endless supply of things you can easily shoot spitballs at when it comes to this guy, but there's one in particular that I want to focus on, and the whole reason I'm making this. How often and how proudly he abuses his dog on stream.
Hey! No.
Come here.
Stop.
Come here.
Don't fucking hit the dog.
That's my dog.
No, you don't fucking grab her.
I do what the fuck I want
No,
with
you
my
don't
dog.
grab the
Don't
fucking
tell me
dog.
what I do when I'm like. Bro, this bitch is thinking she gave me a fucking...
Don't grab the... Stop!
Getting mad at this
Baby, stop,
chick
stop,
for...
Stop! What are you doing?
She knows what the fuck. Because she knows she'll get hurt if she don't listen.
I imagine this brain-dead moron can't spell the word context, but I already know, in defense of this clip, he would try and point to the longer version for the full scoop, because you're only taking a snippet of it, it's out of context. Even though there's really no amount of context that justifies hitting your dog and making the dog yelp in pain, and then forcefully dragging it back into the room to throw onto your chair. But if you want the full version of this clip, which is also equally hard to watch and also still paints a very bad picture of this piece of shit, I'll go ahead and show you that too.
Come here.
It's okay.
Come here.
Peaches.
Come here, Peaches. Don't... Bro, this bitch is thinking she gave me a fucking...
Don't grab the... Stop! Baby, stop! 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 What are you doing?
This is my fucking dog. I don't give a fuck. Stay! Hey!
Stop!
Hey!
Stop!
Stay! This is my fucking dog. I don't give a fuck. You don't
Stop! Stop!
You're not
pain.
You're not taking my dog away from me. I don't give a fuck. You're not taking my fucking dog away from me.
She's in
The fuck,
pain.
stay! Stay!
Stop!
You're not taking my fucking dog away from me. I don't give a fuck who you think you are.
The girl in the clip is trying to calm this raging dork down and try and remove the dog from a dangerous situation here from him. And he continues to fucking fee-fi-fo-fum his way around there and forcefully grabbing the dog and slamming it onto his chair, which again causes the dog to scream in pain and try and run away in terror from this menace. And I am pretty sure he tries to paint this as like a... Oh, I just love my dog, and she was trying to separate me from my dog. This bitch is trying to take my dog. You won't take my dog away from me, my beloved pet that I cherish, which is a bunch of dirty barnacles. He makes the dog cry multiple times here. The girl even points out, like, stop hitting the dog, and then at the end of that clip, he does, like, try and rub the dog's chest after he has slammed the dog onto that chair multiple times. He needs to have this dog removed from him. This is not fair to that animal at all.
That's so bad.
I'm literally gonna fucking kill this dog, bro.
This is not good.
You never come to you ever text me for 24 hours and that's dumb bitch. Fuck it. Never know. She's staying there for the rest of her fucking life. She's staying there for the rest of her fucking life. Fuck all that. That bitch is staying there forever. Fuck that dog. I hope she fucking cries. I hope she fucking wants to commit suicide, that dumb bitch. I hope she jumps off the fucking balcony.
Wow, yeah, you can really feel the love. Regular old John Wick here with the amount that he cares for this animal. What a sane human being this is. It's fucking unhinged, man. In so many clips, this girl is constantly trying to get him to stop hitting the dog and stop, like, being really mean to the dog and like locking it up and threatening it.
I will fucking kill you in front of everyone right here. I will fucking kill you. Right now, I will fucking kill you right in front of fucking everyone. I will fucking
What the
kill
fuck?
You, right? I will fucking kill you right here.
Yeah,
I will break
so,
your fucking
yeah,
legs
he
right
cannot
here.
have that dog. That's wild.
Dog, I'll literally kill this dog. I literally will kill this dog. Fucking stupid dog. I hope you fucking...
Just look at some of these messages in his chat from these loveless, dickless homunculi. They get so excited every time he starts to talk about killing his dog or when he starts hitting his dog. So like this first one, Peaches need to be strangled. That's his dog's name. Clearly not a service dog. Beat that dumb service dog up. Bad dumb dog. Like what the fuck? He is addicted to talking to his dog like it's a League of Legends ranked game. Like, this kind of shit here he tries to downplay as, like, not being super serious, and the community tries to delude themselves into thinking that he's just trolling, but I think it's pretty clear he does mean these things. He actively hits his dog. I think it's pretty clear we have a lot of evidence to indicate that he means this vile shit that he's spouting about his dog. I am also very shocked that he even used that nomenclature, community, to describe what he has, because that's not what he has. He has, like, 4 people that tune in occasionally, and make like one message in chat every 10 minutes. Like, you can see it for yourself. The proof is in the pudding. Somehow this brain-dead worm thought it'd be a good idea to post his dead chat on screen, and that shit is not moving. That's going at a glacial pace. You're seeing more activity on Yahoo Answers than you will in one of his streams, and Yahoo Answers has been shut down, buried in the dirt for like 9 years. I cannot believe that he even puts that up there on his own accord. So he doesn't really have a viewer base or anything like that. But it doesn't matter. I couldn't help but talk about this guy because this is just infuriating. And I haven't seen another streamer so proudly just abuse their pet on stream like this. It's craziness.
Give it all.
She is a pillhead and a borderline personality cunt. She is like only use me Blades X. She is bad news.
You don't shut up. If you don't shut your mouth, okay? If you don't shut your mouth. Shut up. Shut up.
This isn't all of them, but I don't think there's any need to show you more. This kind of thing is just heartbreaking. That dog seems like such a sweetheart that does not deserve to have an owner like this. No dog does. This shit is just so foul. Yeah, like, and another thing he'll do is he'll hit the dog really hard. He'll hit Peaches hard as fuck, and then very lightly, like in that first clip where he was sleeping. In fact, most of the clips you can find of this guy are sleeping on stream. That's like the main thing he does, is just fucking hibernate and hope people will donate while he's asleep. But anyway, you saw him lean over and just clobber Peaches on the snout, and then lightly tap Peaches on the head. And then he even had the gall to make a gesture up here to try and invite Peaches to come sleep on his chest. It's crazy how often and how proudly he does this shit, and even more crazy that there's like 6 or 7 weirdos that'll watch and cheer him on, encouraging the behavior. And I imagine that's a big motivator for this guy. He'll just bring Peaches on stream, threaten to kill the dog, and hit the dog quite a bit, and get some cheers and applause from these absolute fucking vermin that are watching him. But like I said, most of his clips that you'll find are him sleeping. That seems to be like the bulk of what he does, is just go to sleep while filming it. But his most popular clip isn't from his snoozing streams. It's actually from him threatening to shoot some kids. Like inviting them out so he can shoot them.
Where are you from? What's the background? I'm from Toronto, kid. Pull up. Pull up. Your little ass gun that you never shot in your life. Put that. Show me the bullet.
No, man.
Exactly. You fucking fake.
That guy's such a fucking weirdo pussy.
So I did something. I generated something like 200 viruses with AI, and we're gonna see if scammers can help me fix them.
It says kernel panic. System core breach detected. It's beeping at me. Do you know how to fix this?
No.
Oh.
Click cure.
This is not the problem.
Just normal, everyday computer behavior.
This is the level 5 technician.
I don't want to be rude, but I think we might need a level 6 technician.
I think you download virus.
Yeah, I think so. Do you know how to fix it?
I don't know what happened.
God, it's popping popcorn again. It smells like melting plastic. Is my printer cooked?
Not yet. Wait.
The yellow dongle is officially plugged in. I don't think that worked. Something tells me. Something's happening. I don't know what's going on.
Are you doing this?
Go to hell.
I think you killed the computer. I think it's dead.
Yep. It's dead. Your computer is dead.
How did I wind up with hundreds of AI viruses, you might be wondering? Well, I asked Gemini to write documentation for 250 unique, mostly harmless, entertaining viruses. I then asked an even bigger Gemini model to write the code based off of each of those ideas. Now, without looking, I compiled all of the code, and I have a bunch of randomly named executable files. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how harmful they're going to be. I'm simply going to invite tech support scammers onto the computer. I'm going to blindly run the viruses and let the scammers solve any of the problems that arise. It should be fun.
Hello?
Hello.
I'm having a problem with my computer. I don't know what happened, but there's some kind of infection on it, I think. It's spreading.
And would you mind if you let me know what you were exactly doing on your computer before you faced the problem, sir?
Yes, my granddaughter is coming to town, and she likes Taylor Swift. So I went on Google and I typed full Taylor Swift album, no virus. And I clicked on the third link, and then this happened.
I will do my best. I will try my best. Please wait.
Okay, now that he's on the computer, I'm going to run that other virus, which was titled
And this is the first time
Example
that you are facing the
97.
same
I mean, there was no
problem, or
title.
second time, sir?
This is the first time I've ever had it happen.
Did you talk to someone else before you called me up?
No. No, sir. Is it you playing music?
Well, it says... No. It says that your computer has been hacked. It's...
Well, I'm trying to...
popping up
I'll just close out of it.
Wait. Just leave the way as it is,
Yeah,
alright? Do not do anything, just leave the way as it is.
Yeah, I'll let you fix it, because you're the expert.
Yeah.
Saving money feels right. Just like when things are packed tidy and tight. Get auto insurance that fits your budget and your needs. Save up to 10% when you bundle auto and renter's insurance. Get a quote today.
The heck is this? Example 96.
So what now?
I don't know.
Well, what happened here is it says that according to this computer, it says that your computer has been
Oh, you fixed it.
hacked.
Has been
Did you fix it?
No, it's not yet, sir. I will fix that, yes, but it will take time, sir.
All right. Is that normal?
Yes, it is so normal, sir.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, we're gonna do that. Okay. Will that fix it?
Yes.
Okay.
In case if you face the same problem, just call me up and let me know, sir, okay?
Oh, you're leaving?
Yes, bye for now. You take care, sir.
Wait, where are you going? You're supposed to help me. Hello? Sir?
I want to thank Aura for sponsoring today's video. By now, you should be well aware of data breaches. They're happening almost every day at this point. Scammers and criminals take this information, your information, and use it to target your family or steal your identity. It happens so often that experts say every 22 seconds an identity is stolen, meaning someone's identity is stolen as I'm talking about this right now. Aura helps protect you by locking your credit profiles and monitoring your identity for suspicious uses. One of my family members found out their identity was stolen by receiving letters in the mail that their credit card applications got approved. With Aura, you get alerts immediately when something suspicious happens, which allows you to act quickly to stop it. They could have even used Aura's US-based support team at any time, day or night. If you want to try Aura, there's an exclusive offer for Kitboga viewers, 21 days free at aura.com/Kitboga. Alright, on to the next one.
This is Jenny. How can I help?
Hey Jenny, how are you?
Hello?
I'm calling about a computer
Can you hear me?
problem I'm having. I was on the internet trying to figure out how to convert a Blu-ray to a DVD because I only have a DVD burner. But when I downloaded the movie off of LimeWire, it gave me a Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing this?
No, I'm not doing anything. What do you see?
I see a bunch of letters, in like a pretty, it's actually kind of beautiful. I don't know what the heck is happening. It's like taking over my whole computer screen.
Have you paid bill online?
Have I what?
Have you paid bill online?
Oh God. Ma'am? There's something happening to my computer.
What happened?
I don't know, there's something happening to my computer.
What do you see?
It says kernel panic. System core breach detected. File corrupt data stream. I don't know. System
Okay,
shutdown.
Just do you have any other computer, or this is the only one computer you have?
It's beeping at me. I don't know what to do. Do you know how to fix this?
No.
Oh.
Because I don't know what happened. What do you see?
I don't know, it's some man.
Okay.
It's someone dancing.
Listen, see, maybe AI isn't so bad. Maybe I didn't do that. The AI did that. Man, that was example number
That's okay.
4.
Do you see? Just
That was a
press the
banger.
window
Why do
key.
I have a different mouse cursor, ma'am? It's just shaped like an eagle. Okay, so you said I need to check my email?
Right.
Alright, hold on. Let me see if I can... Oh my... Holy smokes!
I think you download something virus. That's why this thing happened on your computer.
Yeah, I think so. Do you know how to fix it?
Yeah, we will.
Okay. Go ahead.
All three of these are actually quite good.
Not now.
Well, why not? I think
network
it needs to be fixed now. I can hardly even use my computer.
No. Sir, right now we can't do anything because
Why?
already your network is hacked, okay?
What?
Your network is hacked.
Ma'am,
Other
there's
people, they already
something...
connect.
There's strange shapes. And my computer's changing colors, ma'am. My computer's changing colors and I think... I don't know if those are supposed to be clowns. I don't like clowns.
I don't know what happened. Can you please tell me, like, when you check your banking, what was the balance you see in your account?
The last time, okay, so the last time that I checked my computer balance, sorry, my bank balance, it was...
1, 2, 3, yeah.
When looking for the perfect card to reward your appetite for life, look no further than the Amex Gold Card. Discover new tastes, gather new experiences, and earn 4 times membership rewards points at restaurants worldwide. Find out how to access over $500 in annual benefits value on select dining and travel purchases. Elevate your date night, family outing, or solo experiences, and make every meal more rewarding with the Amex Gold Card.
This is the new Dell AI PC, built for AI. It's like a trusted personal assistant. Learning your habits, keeping you on track. But it can't make your coffee. Yet.
And do you have any other
so
computer?
cool. That is so cool. What even is this? Do you have anyone else who can help me? Because I think this is wasted. I think this is all wasted on you. This is good content.
You can just open a Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge and check your email first, okay?
I don't want to. can you fix my computer or no? Because I'll probably just talk to someone else if you can't fix it.
Okay, then go to hell.
Okay, I can't, but it doesn't exist. But if it did, I would see you there. Bye.
Get lost.
Can you hang up, or are you not allowed to hang up?
I'll hang up because you are wasting my time.
Okay.
You're doing all this thing by yourself, okay?
I didn't do any of this. I tried to download Blu-ray to DVD converter crack.exe, and it just didn't work. You're supposed to be fixing my computer for me because you're a legitimate Microsoft technician.
I'm just resolving your problem, okay?
Oh, okay. By opening up,
I told you I didn't see anything.
by opening up the camera, you're resolving my problem?
Okay, go ahead. Bye-bye.
Actually, I really like this one. This is one of my favorites. Oh, she hung up.
All right. Next.
So this was a message that you got, right?
Yeah, I got that message, and then as you can see, there's an angry circle, and my mouse is acting strange. I don't know, there's just problems. Do you know much about computers?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you could help me fix it, that would be great.
Turn off the computer, turn it back on. It will be fine to use it again.
Oh, are you having some connection problems?
No, I don't have any connection problems.
Okay. Well, what do I do with the virus on the computer? Because I actually see it on the screen again.
I will help you with that. Hold on.
Okay.
I don't know. I think he's giving up. So I had this idea
Super
years
close.
ago. I'm talking 2018, in the spirit of this being the 8-year anniversary of me streaming. There were these guys that would pretend to be Family Tree Maker support. And I don't even know if it like exists anymore. Oh, wait, no, it does. It works. Family Tree Maker 2019. Order now, download, DVD, or USB. I don't think they offer support over the phone. And you could find scammers that were like pretending to be them. I wonder if I could call one of them and I'm like, my computer's having problems with my Family Tree Maker. I tried downloading it and then there's viruses. I'm gonna call them and we'll see what happens. We'll switch it up.
Calling support, how may I help you?
Hi, I'm calling about my Family Tree Maker.
How may I help you, ma'am?
I need help with it. There's something wrong.
What is that? Can you explain it to me?
Well, I have a new husband. He's my third husband, God bless him. And I'm trying to sync his family history into my other family history on Family Tree Maker. And when I downloaded it, my computer has all kinds of errors on it now.
So let me connect to your computer and see what's going on, okay?
I almost want to speed it up because the granny parts are so slow.
That sounds
But the
fine
Indian
with
accents
me.
are kind of hard to understand
so
sometimes.
can you follow some instructions now so I can connect to your machine?
Especially with that fucking robotic.
Also, I realize I don't have Family Tree Maker on the computer, so what the heck am I gonna do now? What am I gonna do? He's gonna immediately look for Family Tree Maker, and he can't just download it.
Yeah. Alright, so you can see now I am connected, okay?
Okay.
I may have jumped the gun.
Smiley.
I
Is it
don't.
you? Like, did
I
you put
think
it
my
on?
grandkids put that there.
Let me remove this first, okay?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Let me try to.
What's happening?
Did you? I don't know, like, did you turn off the machine or something? I cannot see it now.
I haven't done anything. I thought that was you.
No, it's coming back on again.
What the heck was that?
Somebody has messed up your computer badly, it looks like.
I don't know what that means.
Give me 1 second. Let me try to restart it, okay?
Okay, well, does that usually fix things?
No, it is not. I think you have allowed.
At least he's
somebody
playing
to connect
along.
to your
I feel like
computer.
now I can just start
And they are
spawning
messing it up.
viruses, and he's trying to fix it.
Did you
Like he's
talk to
actively
somebody earlier
attempting
and
to fix the
allowed
computer
somebody to
now.
connect?
So this is good. This is good.
Well, I had somebody help me before with the computer, if that's what
Yeah.
you mean.
That's all a scam. So you should not talk to those people. They charge you a lot of money and then they say they are fixing it up. They fix nothing. They connect to your computer and stay connected all the time. And that's what they were doing.
Well,
So
I
I
found
tried to
it
disconnect them.
quite valuable.
If they are
In
the
the
good
meantime,
people,
I'm having
so
Gemini
why are they
generate
still connected on your machine?
a
That's
family
my
tree
question.
maker that's corrupted. I'm giving it time to cook, but I think that
They
would
should
also
not
be
be
really funny.
connected on your computer all the time.
What do you mean?
See, they are still connected on your machine.
It says
And I'm
desktop
trying to get rid of that.
is sparkly clean. Using Cortana, I hope you're making great progress. You know, some of these strange things have been happening when I was trying to download a printer the other day. I wasn't sure if I was going to have to buy a printer or not, so I tried to download one. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
What up?
Yeah,
Oh my
I see a lot
God.
of these
Allie
things every
Gray.
day.
You see this every day? Thank God for you.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know if this is like a big fiery debate or if I just got thrust into like a very tiny pocket of hostility, but there is right now a raging battle of people debating whether or not balding is real. Kind of. That's the statement that started it. That was like the shot heard around the world for this topic.
I don't believe in male balding.
Why?
First of all, if you're a male and you want to go bald, that's fine, like good for you. However, if you're a male and you don't want to go bald and you're balding anyway, that's where I take issue.
That opening line right there, I don't believe in male balding, actually reached through the fucking phone screen and tickled me. I was smiling. It goes so hard. I don't believe in male balding. Shit is a myth. It's like a cryptid, almost. I've never seen a bald man. No such thing. That's a goddamn lie. That's a deep state hoax right there. That's like 5G. I don't know. I love that. It just slaps. It's not exactly what she's saying, but it's how she lays the foundation. The point she's making is that she believes that balding is a solved problem, and if there's anyone who is bald without wanting to be bald, it's due to their laziness. It's fundamentally
Wild
what she's
take.
getting at. She's saying, like, if you're bald and you choose to be
No
bald,
webcam.
yippee,
Just whatever.
good for you, she said.
Chill video I want to watch. Assuming I don't accidentally back it out of it.
Hey, Big Gliz. Don't call me Big Gliz. What made the stock market tank in the past few
He
days?
is Big
Obviously,
Gliz.
there's no answer to a question like this. The market comes and goes. The narrative over the past few days has been, are we all way, way, way over allocated to a gigantic AI bet? No, it's not tariffs, it's not Biden. It's all been, wait a minute. Are every single one of us insanely to the moon over allocated to an... What it really was it was Sammy Altman, OpenAI CEO, literally said, you shouldn't say this by the way, if you are a Pokemon card salesman whose entire warehouse is filled with Charizards, and the only thing you do is sell Charizards to stay alive, you shouldn't say, listen, I think Charizards are in a bubble. Because Sam Altman literally said, I think AI could be in a bubble. That scared if he's saying it, that's scary. He said the word. Nothing major happened. This was 2 days of like bad performance for tech, which is nothing crazy. It was, pretty minor drops, all things considered. But here's the main things. We're like, let's get Paints back, because this is actually an interesting topic. There's been a couple things that have happened lately that are all like making people kind of nervous. Number one was this. GPT-5, we talked about it. GPT-5 was mid.
Can't
It was
move.
mid to, actually, it started out mid and has gotten worse. It is now bad. I don't know if any of you are active ChatGPT.
I only started using
but it
ChatGPT
actually has gotten
recently. I
worse
don't know what it
every
used to
day.
be like.
People are noticing that because they're hitting their energy
I think I maybe
limit,
used
this
it
is what
once or
Sam
twice
Altman
before the
said, like, they're-
update.
They are hitting their server and energy limits. They're having to rate limit, and they're having to like route all the questions to the worst models, and so it's getting worse. So GPT-5 was like this incredibly hyped Death Star. Sam Altman was on Oprah saying how it's like, I can't tell you how crazy it's about to be. If you knew what I knew, you might hide in a bunker. And then GPT-5 comes out and it's like, it can't even tell you how many R's are in strawberry still. And like, it was still bad. So this happened, and then, second thing happened, number 2, Sam Altman goes bubble. He says the word bubble. Now, everyone has known the word bubble's been floating in the air, but nobody with power or money in AI has ever said it. So, finally.
We paused HelloFresh a while back.
We wanted more variety.
Now we have our pick from over 100 chef-tested recipes.
Sam Altman said the word bubble, which is like, oh, wait a minute. It's very possible we're in a bubble. Like, especially because, you know, when you talk about AI, you hear about people like OpenAI or Microsoft or Google or Meta. Companies that all have some cash flow. They're all big, stable. But the real, like, area you're seeing the bubble is all these AI startups whose valuations are like astronomically bigger. None of them make any money. They're not even close. Most of them, every user they add
breaks
loses
it
them
and still
more
does
money.
the true
The amount they
damage.
spend on GPU tokens is more than they make from the user, so it's all loss. There's these really crazy valuations in like most AI startups. I'd say all of them outside of like Anthropic and ChatGPT. Also, one more thing I want to say. What's the right word? It's like data center depreciation. To explain this simply, this basically means if you spend $100 billion buying NVIDIA GPUs to set up a data center for your AI startup, on the books, you might write, this will last us for 6 to 8 years. But in reality, what everyone is realizing is it kind of lasts you like 2 years. 2 to 4 maybe. You know? And like you have to upgrade. You have to buy more. And every year, your GPUs that you bought are significantly losing value, becoming out of date. Some of them are burning out or breaking. And so the cost of doing business is actually a lot higher than everyone was anticipating. Like, it's more expensive, and there's a chance, you know, I think everyone was framing this as, if I spend $100 billion on AI, on GPUs, I'm $100 billion ahead of you. But the reality is, a year later, maybe you're like 50 billion ahead. 2 years later, you're like not ahead at all. They can just buy the better chips. Like, it's not as much of a moat, you know? It's not as much of a moat. It's like quicksand. You think you're standing on this big hill, but you're like sitting in, it's not as much of an advantage as they thought. Which is, by the way, I hate to give any credit here, but this is kind of vindicating Apple. Apple low-key said this. They put out a paper saying this. Apple basically said, like, we're not gonna waste all our money on this shit. We're gonna wait a little longer. Like, this is all, it's all like not quite there, and we're not gonna get in this arms race of spending ever more hundreds of billions of dollars. So Apple's wait and see is like, it's looking better. I'm not saying this has all happened yet, by the way. It's like the very beginning. Like, if the hype cycle was this, it's like the tiniest little dip. It's like over the hill. That's what it feels like. It feels like we just crested the hill and everyone's like, wait, what? Ah! You know? That's what it feels like. But anyway, Apple is looking like they may have been smarter than everyone thought a few months ago. So that's part of it. And then the last thing is, like, in the past few days. Like, you're wondering why the stock market has been like a little sketchy in the past few days. It's also been Meta. So the funniest thing about Meta is that up until a few days ago, Mark Zuckerberg was like, I will spend any amount of money. I will burn my empire to ash. I will spend every single thing I can. I will hire an AI researcher for $1 trillion. I don't care. Whatever you cost, I will pay. I will spend $1 billion for you from OpenAI, and I'll spend $1 billion from you from Google, and I'll hire anyone. And then, like, a day ago, 2 days ago, they're freezing AI hiring. And they're already, like, downsizing and restructuring. Like, this is all very recent. It's like they finally checked the books and like, whoa, we are spending a lot of money on these people. Like, you know, the offers they were giving were absurd. The $100 million signing bonuses and all that. And so these type of things are sending signals. It's like very early, but it's sending signals to the market of like, oh, wait a minute. There is a limit to the amount of money you can spend. Oh, wait a minute. ChatGPT wasn't the leap forward we expected. Oh, wait a minute. Sam Altman's saying bubble. But yeah, the meta news was pretty big because I'm not kidding. Like a month ago, it was like, we will buy anyone at any price. And now it's like, we'll only even consider hiring something if our 27-year-old billionaire AI kid agrees. It all routes through Alexander Wang now, who they already spent an absurd amount of money to get. And his only thing was paying someone, you know, $8 an hour to label pictures of dogs. By the way, I've had multiple people reach out to me who worked for Scale AI. Scale AI was just paying minimum wage to get people to label pictures of you know, animals, or like to do a basic coding question, or just to get actual human data so they can feed it to the machine. And that guy's a billionaire for that. That was his startup, and he's a billionaire. It's crazy. Oh yeah, and then there's actually one more thing, and it's pretty important. This paper, this was an MIT report. This was really big. This is actually making a lot of waves too, and I need to talk about this. This was the AI report about AI agents, and it looked at all the money that corporations have spent on AI agents to replace workers, and how they've worked so far, and who's seeing success. The main takeaway is that 95% have gotten zero return. They've put billions of dollars in, and they're not getting anything out. It's not working yet. It's not. So all of these things, like this paper, again, I don't want to overstate it. The stock market has not moved that much. But all of this happened within a few days ago. Like, all of this has happened really recently, and it's all got people being like, wait a minute, am I the fool? You know, I've put all of my money into this. Am I at all concerned that this wasn't perfect? And a couple of things could happen to turn this around. Any one of the big tech companies could release incredible earnings. ChatGPT is going to raise money at a $500 billion valuation. By the way, I don't have the exact dates, and I don't want to be misquoted here. It is absurd how frequently OpenAI is needing to raise new money. Like, OpenAI raised $17 billion, no, $10 billion, and then a few weeks later they need to raise another $7. Like, they're raising money, like, they're burning through a lot of cash, what I'm trying to say. They're burning through cash very, very quickly. It's just leading to a lot of questions, is all I'm saying. All this is making everybody a little bit more questions. Meta hiring, and then we'll put the 95%. The 95% agents being useless. That equals questions. That all feels bubbly to me. Now, I've been saying bubble forever, and I have an inherent bias. So I don't want to overstate it. But I will say that there hasn't been a lot of news in the past few days that would be like positive. On the everything is working out, this is all going great, the money's well spent. I think this is talked about the least. This is probably the biggest one. This part is so under-discussed that so much of the money being thrown at GPUs is going to be wasted within a few years. People like ignored it. They hand waved it, and now they're like, wait a minute, we're just going to be out of date. Like, they're going to have to buy it again. What does bubble mean? A bubble is like when investor hype exceeds the reality. When valuations of companies exceed what they're actually able to make or earn in any reasonable time frame. And to be clear, bubbles have happened with every other major new technology in the stock market ever. Not just the internet. You can go all the way back to like trains, radio, canals. This is in my notes and it's very helpful. Canals, railways, automobiles, radio, airlines, PCs, telecoms, internet, solar panels, ride sharing, weed, spats, crypto, EVs, and AI. Every one of these technologies, when they first launch, even if they end up being useful, you know, again, like solar panels. Solar panels are a big deal. They're a big part of energy today. But in 2008, 2011, there was a massive bubble. Solar companies got way ahead of their skis. they were valued way higher than they'd end up being worth in the next decade. They were like, it wasn't even close to being able to roll out mass solar panels. Telecoms, fiber. This is like you know, Cisco in the internet bubble. Just a lot of this shit happens, and they end up. It's like, oh wait a minute, there's a lot more problems to figure out. And I think AI, to say that it's like never, it's totally different this time, and that it won't follow the same human tendencies, I think it's crazy. It feels like a lot of money's been wasted, is all I'll say. It's been misallocated. What you're saying is that a bubble's not a significant predictor if a technology be useful or not? No. If anything, a technology that will be useful is more likely to have a bubble, because then there's a truth to it. If it's 1999 and you tell me the internet's gonna change everything, that's true. It feels true. It looks true. It's like, this is cool. You're correct. But what the problem is, you're way too early, or you don't even know you don't know who's gonna change everything. You think it's gonna be pets.com, or you think the money is gonna flow to people putting telecom wire in the ground. When in fact it's gonna go to search engines, and you don't get it yet. So the way AI makes money is not even fully mapped out yet. Yeah, I mean, drunk gnome, that's a great point. If you picked Amazon, it fell 90%. Amazon stock fell 90% in the bubble. The Jeff Bezos earnings letter after that fall is really funny. It just opens with one word. It says, ouch. In like
90%?
So anyway.
That's pretty insane.
No guarantees either way.
Sure, you'd have made bank if you bought
I would say all these things
Amazon
combined
then.
in the past few days make you a little more skeptical. Just a little more skeptical. It's a combination of bad news. But a few things in the future, in the next few weeks, could get the hype back on track. The main thing that usually saves it is one of the big tech companies, Google, Meta, whatever, will release a great earnings report. And then everyone's like, oh, this is great, we're back on board.
Grammarly integrates with pretty much any app you use. It can look at whatever you're writing and it will automatically suggest spelling and grammatical changes that you could potentially make. And if you want, you can always highlight the text and then the AI writing assistant can improve whatever you've written for you. But where Grammarly really shines is in Grammarly Pro. Firstly, there is the goals feature.
Intimidate, guys. There's no intimidation. When I walk in a room, I make people love me and respect me.
There's no intimidation. Fuck.
Intimidate, guys. There's no intimidation. When I walk in a room, I make people love me and respect me.
You just find the humor.
He's smoking cigars. To be like, I am the strongest man in the world. I am cool.
Yeah, I'm cool. Come smoke a $100 cigar.
Everyone loves and respects me. Literally, if that guy walks in the room, I'd be like,
Who's this face? I don't like him.
Well, because King Azuli was like, I walk in and people fear me. He's like, you are wrong. People should love you, not fear you. He's like, oh, I know that. I do.
All right, so Matt and Shane have been following some of these fake alpha males like Wes Watson, Ben Azuli, and now Ali Sobe, who's basically a clone of Ben. He's like the Muslim version of him. I mean, it feels like they're just creating these people in labs at this point. You know, they make the same exact content too. They go on podcasts and the whole time they just try to sound badass and prove that they're the most alpha, but everyone just thinks it's the cringiest shit ever. You know, they're cringe merchants and there's a lot of competition in that field, so it's tough to stand out. You really have to make a fool out of yourself. Except Ben did just get canceled, so there's one less alpha male lol cow, and I guess Ali gets to fill his shoes. What an honor.
I asked God, why are you putting me through rough waters? You know what he replied?
How's it going, cutie?
Because your enemies can't swim.
Yeah, so these guys are just out of control. And before Ben got exposed for essaying a minor, Ali and him got into a beef because he felt like Ali disrespected him. You know, Ben refers to himself as king, so Ali made this video where he says he isn't afraid of the king, which got Ben's attention, and he couldn't believe someone would be willing to challenge his alpha maleness. You know, I think he felt threatened, and he might have thought that Ali's trying to steal his shtick, which is just hilarious. I mean, imagine seeing a video this embarrassing and thinking, wait, is he trying to copy me?
What a silly duck.
Tough behind the screen, but nobody's tough face to face. Ali, I DM'd you. Let's see you DM me back, and if not, you're a bitch.
So we have a battle of the wannabe alpha males. And this got Matt and Shane's attention because these two decided to do a podcast together where they argued about religion most of the time, but then at the end, they tried to prove who's the most proficient in the alpha male arts. And then it ended in the most pathetic skirmish I've ever seen. I mean, Ben acts like he's the toughest man alive. You know, he claims he's trained with the Shaolin monks and learned Kung Fu, and he beat 30 guys in a fight and threw his dad through a coffee table and all this stuff. Like every podcast, he comes up with a new story about how badass he is. But then when it comes down to proving it and things get heated here, he doesn't want that smoke, and it just took some guy in a suit to hold him back. At least Ali, he seemed like he was down to fight. He needed a couple people to hold him back. But it seems like Ben is all talk. And of course, he's acting like he's in a movie the way he talks. You know, afterwards, he's like, man, you're lucky you're there to hold me back because I would have broken his hand in half. But he was just holding himself back.
And now I take it personal because you're Muslim.
I'm not taking it that way. And even if you did take it that way, and what? Where are you trying to get with this, man? Seriously, where are you trying to get with this? I'm not going to allow you to talk the wrong way in my presence, man.
Akhuya, you think you're tough, huh?
Gentlemen, very quickly, there's a video. Joe, can we play that video very quickly?
Video that they sent me and said that he was speaking personally to me. Was it to me?
No, it wasn't to you. I'll tell you personally right now, I don't give a fuck who you are if you're going to disrespect my religion. You hear me?